So we gotta make sure, and he's gotta be able to stand for the Pledge of
I've
Allegiance.
done a lot of bad
Okay,
things.
just
but-
not try. This is like class, too young to do it.
See that, so we gotta make sure, and he's gotta be able to stand for.
Oh, here we go.
There's a little delay?
All right, we are
I
now.
didn't realize there was a delay, so I can use profanity and you can just. Now that I know that, it's a whole new world. All right, welcome everybody. Today is April 9th, 2026 at 7 PM or a little after 7 PM. Sorry if we're running a little late. This is the Board of Trustees for the Village of Nyack and our regularly scheduled Thursday night meeting. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, a couple things I want to take up top, and then we have a very quick presentation to make with the certificate. But I want to lead into that by just talking about some of the. We're getting into the spring season, which means there's a lot of stuff going on in Nyack, and I'm just going to highlight some of those things to get them in the record and to let people that may be watching on screen or here know that this Sunday is our first street fair of the year. That will go on from I think 10 to 5, something like that. They're taking the whole streets. It's a big event. That will be on Sunday. Also on Sunday around 2 o'clock is the rescheduled Easter egg hunt that got rained out on Sunday on Easter. So it's going to be this Sunday, and it will still be fun. Just pretend that it's pretend that it's Easter, and collecting candy and eggs is it's a year round. You can do it anytime. It's never, it never goes out of style.
Are you wearing your Easter jacket?
I am going to be wearing the Easter jacket that I gave a preview of that on Facebook on a picture when we announced the delay. It's also a hat. The hat doesn't actually match. It's not a set, but it really looks like it matches. So that's the height of fashion is my Easter jacket, which I will be wearing at the event, which means I'm also wearing it for the street fair, which will be really great. Also Restaurant Week, that's next week, April 13th to the 19th. Go check it out, Google it there's a list of restaurants and shops that are participating, and they'll have special menus and things like that. It's a good week to plan out some nights out with your family, some date nights to go get dinner in Nyack. Speaking of dinner in Nyack, April 22nd, Taste of Nyack is a fundraiser for YMCA. It's always a fun event. They get about, I don't know, maybe a dozen, 10 restaurants or so that participate, that you get a card and you get to go to each restaurant and usually it's an appetizer and you can buy a drink, and it's a nice thing to walk around the village. If it's a nice day, it's a really good event. And thanks for the YMCA for putting it on. You can always find events that are happening going on in the village. A lot of places do it, but one way is our event guide that we put out every season. The spring event guide is out. It's at nyack.link/events. Nyack.link/events. You can always get the most recent event guide there. Okay, with all that said, let me see if anybody else has any comments to start us off before I get to the certificate.
Yeah, I just want
Joe?
to mention that we also have on May 2nd, Sunday, May 2nd, was going to be the Greatest American Cleanup, Nyack edition, between 9 and 12, meeting at the YMCA. There's a QR code. You can see it on social media, and hopefully we'll have it on the Village of Nyack website. And it's a really great event. Individuals, groups, the community service hours will be given out, and hope to see a lot of you people there.
And community service hours will be given out. Was that?
Yeah, you get a certificate.
Oh, you get certificates for various reasons why you might need community hours. That's good. That it counts.
Yeah.
Natalie, anything?
No.
All right. Well, now that we talked about the advent of spring, well, I'm going to take you back now for a quick moment to think back on the dark of winter. And one of the things that brightened up our winter was our annual decorations contest that we had, which was there was a downtown contest, and a lot of the shops and the restaurants did a wonderful job of decorating the storefronts, made it look wonderful as you walked around downtown. But there was also a contest for residents to decorate their homes, and a bunch of people took that very seriously and did a wonderful job. And we did have it was a contest, so we had online voting, and people could go to a web page and vote for their favorites. And far and away the favorite for the residential decorating contest was the Pizzuto family who's in the back. Hey, for the Pizzutos. And so as part of that, we want to present them with for thanks for, I mean, they really did a wonderful job. It was really stirring, which is not often the case of holiday decorations at a home. It was a very stirring presentation that they made. So I'd like for the board to come up with me just so we can present them with a certificate and with some pins and a gift card. So it's part of the prize. Yeah, Jeremy said, don't give me a gift card, just, but if you want to give it away, you can give it away, but you want, so you get a gift card.
Back to the school.
Back to school. All right, so where should we, let's do it, let's keep that there, let's do it with the board. Come up here.
Thank you so much.
Table behind
Thank
us.
you. Guys, do you wanna go this way?
Come on, come in front, come on here, come on this way. All right, so, you need to get a picture? So the certificate reads, on behalf of the village board of trustees, Mayor Rand hereby issues the certificate of esteemed merit to the Pizzuto family. Congratulations on your spectacular home holiday decorating and creativity and festive spirit. We're judged to be the best. Your efforts brought joy to the neighbors and helped make the season brighter for everyone in the village. So thank you all very much. Thank you. And make sure we get a photo.
Great, thank you very much. Thanks for all your work.
One of these pins. What's that?
Got a pen? Wait, just gotta get it for me.
Oh,
I can just give it to us.
Sorry.
Is there?
No,
No, I'm not gonna take them. No, let's take some off. And here's one for you.
Well, thank you so much.
And these are only given out for you to see this as an appreciation. These are given out for situations like this. So they're
Thank you,
not-
Mr. Mayor.
And this is also for you.
There's not.
Thank you all very
Thanks,
much.
Mayor.
Thank you for all the-
Thank you, everybody.
You may feel it, and we'll see what you do next year.
Oh, yeah, looking forward to it.
You got a tough act to follow.
They really did an amazing job last year. It really was tremendous. And I'm very grateful to them. I'm grateful to Hope Wade, who won the business contest, and I just didn't get in touch with her early enough to get her. She'll be at the next meeting, and we'll have a gift card for her and a certificate. I already have a certificate and the pin and the whole bit because she did a wonderful job as well.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, Jerry. Have a great night. So it's really nice to have that spirit, to remember the holiday spirit. And it only took me 4 months to get the certificate together. So not too bad. Better than last year. I think I gave it in the summer last year. It's a lot. I got a lot doing a lot of stuff. All right, let's get to the agenda. We'll start with public comments on any topic. I will remind everybody that we do have public comment at any time for issues that are on the action items or any of the resolutions that are up or any of the presentations that we get. So if you have a question about those, you can wait until the appropriate time. You can ask it while we're talking about it, so you don't have to talk about it now. And then later on, you don't seem to get, you say, oh, why, I can't talk now. I only talk. So you talk when you do that. But if you have a comment on an issue that's not on our agenda and you want to bring it to our attention, you can come and talk about it now. Is there anybody that signed up? If I do want to come up, come on up. Yeah.
Hello, I'm Robert Lord from 3 Main Street, and I'm here to talk about the never-ending problem with the noisy vehicles and the like. I know that you have been discussing this as a board for numerous months now. And a couple of things have been brought to my attention, discussing fences, rumble strips and the like. And just from my experience, 25 years in the NYPD, you're just going to exacerbate the situation with either of those.
Fences or
Fences or rumbles.
and how would that exacerbate it?
Well,
I'm curious. I'm not challenging.
no. Well, with the rumble strips, so what you're doing is you have a car with a illegal exhaust system and they start going up, they start going up Bird Street.
Yeah.
So you get.
It makes it loud.
And then they hit the rumble strip and then you get it again. So what you're doing is.
They slow down. They get to gun it twice.
Yeah, they get the gun
Okay.
twice on the same block. So that's the first one. The second one, the fence, it seems like a great idea, but this problem really, it's exacerbated when it's 10 o'clock and you're trying to get to sleep. If they're there after the park is open. But for instance, last night, we had 12 vehicles over 100 decibels. I have a decibel reader. And this is off the corner of River and Bird. We had 12 vehicles over 100 dBL in the hour between 10 and 11. However, just today, between 5 and 6, while I was having my dinner to make sure I'm here on time, we had 7 vehicles over 100 dBL. And the state.
You mean all of them are running their engines at the same time, or you just?
No, they're just coming up the street.
When they come
going
up the
down-
street, you're measuring them when they
Coming
come
up the street or going down the street. I can't differentiate between the two because I'm not sitting there. It just gives me a recording of what they are. This has become.
That's okay, just keep going.
This has become more and more of a problem because the weather is getting nicer.
It's gonna be-
During that horrible winter that we had, you didn't really hear it that much. But now we're getting into the nicer weather that
Yeah.
week with the 70-degree weather was really a killer. Everybody got out of their cocoons and they went at it. There are things that I could suggest. The biggest one is the Sleep Act, the New York State law. Sleep Act was 2022. It was done primarily for New York City, but it covers the entire state.
Okay,
There are devices that are quite costly, I will grant that. That are audio triggered. They hear any sound over 82 dBL and they turn on and they take a picture of the street. And they take a reading on what it is. And they're quite expensive. New York City now has about a dozen of them. They're going to expand it starting the 26th of this month. They're running about 35 grand a piece.
that's for the device.
For the device. And the
35,000?
device can be put on a temporary pole, so it can be moved around. New York City right now, you know, they're having budget problems.
So we're saying that the device hears the loud noise and then
Turns on,
takes a
takes
picture,
of it,
and
just like
issues
they
issues
do.
a ticket.
So it's a noise
First
camera.
offense, pardon?
It's a noise camera.
Yeah, it's like a.
Yes, it's a noise camera and it does take a reading of the DBL because you need that for court. Then they do send out the summons. First offense, $800.
Oh, wow.
How quickly would that take care of this problem?
I like that. All right, I mean,
What I'm gonna.
we'll take up a collection.
Well,
I'll bet I could get $100 from everybody that lives over in the Claremont,
well,
every apartment.
I think you could. But,
Special assessment.
you know, we just want, this is poor use of OPD for us to be calling.
Yeah,
I call, there are numerous people on the street that call up. And these vehicles are moving. So by the time that the police get there, there's not much they can do about it. And I.
you know what? I
frustrated
do
for them.
appreciate you getting creative and trying to find a solution there, right? Because I respect that. And the fact that it's expensive, you know, we've spent a lot of money down the waterfront doing stuff to try to address this. And that does sound like something that would if it were working the way you say it works, because I know that we do need, in order for us to put up the speed cameras, we need like special authority from the state to do that.
Yeah, we need a whole.
Yeah, you need a home rule legislation to be able to do
Right.
that, and I wonder if you need the same thing for this, but if that's the case, we'll look into it. If you have information on it, I just looked that up right now as you were talking, but you send me information on the device and.
Sent information out to Weber and the state senator and Senator Carroll. Setting up because maybe
We can get
the
money.
governor can give us some money for this.
Okay,
I know it's been very successful in 2024. The city with 12 cameras made $462,000.
so it might pay for itself.
And I think only less than 1% were able to invest.
That's interesting. Okay, that's great. Thank you.
Thank you. Well,
Very good suggestion.
congratulations on the work on the park. And I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, looking forward to being over, because it looks terrible now, but it'll look better then.
Well, I have to say, they were on it immediately. There was an issue with one of the paths being blocked and Mr. Stewart was right on it. His office was right on it. I believe you're probably in your rating was next day they had it so that you could get into the skate park and into the playground from the east.
Yeah.
So thank you very much.
Bob, let me ask you a question.
Sure.
The tickets that are given out, it's $800.
800 first offense.
Are there any points?
No,
It's not a moving vehicle, I'm afraid.
yeah, no, that, I don't think.
But the $800 is $800. I mean, you
Yeah,
charge.
and I believe it could go up to 2K
Wow.
for multiple offenses, the same
All right,
law.
we'll take a look at it. I like it. That's a nice suggestion.
All right, thank you.
I guess I really do, it really does bother me like it bothers everybody else. I mean, I can hear it sometimes from my house when they go up Main Street and I live, 6 blocks away and I just get annoyed at night when I hear them revving up and down on a motorcycle or a car
I
down Main
was
Street.
walking up to the meeting and I don't have a decibel reader on that one. I'm sorry, but
It was loud.
at the Broadway, I could still hear them in the park.
In the park, yeah.
So, of course,
And these are not NIAC people, so these are not people that are constituents that
No.
are, they're taking advantage of our public resources and it's not right.
Exactly,
We know that.
exactly.
For sure.
I'm pretty, because I see them driving on Main Street and they just keep going. They don't
Okay.
they don't turn down Broadway and they turn into First Avenue.
No, no.
I think if they did, we'd know about it by
Make
now.
sure that we
Because the neighbor,
know that for sure.
well, I mean, if they're NIAC or not, they shouldn't be doing it. But I'm just saying that for the most part, the one nice thing about our marina and one of the many nice things about our marina and our Memorial Park is it's open to everybody. We don't check your residency at the door. We don't check your residency when you're in the park. And so it's open to everybody, but then you do leave yourself open to abuse, which is terrible. So
And just something to keep in mind, I think, my anniversary was late last summer. And I took my wife, first time we ever went over to Spear Street, had a wonderful meal. But while I'm congratulating on her on 47 years of
there was
snack
no,
time,
yeah, it's
it's
too bad.
really, and I really feel for him. It's gotta affect his business.
Yeah, that's possible. Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate your being here. Anybody else for public comments on a non-action item issue? All right, then let's get to what time we open the public hearing? We open the public hearing yet?
Not yet.
What's it set for? It's set for 7:30? All right, so we have a public hearing at 7:30 on the budget. That's gonna be, our treasurer is gonna present. So let's move on to some other items, get them out of the way. The adoption of the minutes. Can I get, get on the table?
Motion.
Second.
Any comments or questions or changes to the minutes for March 12th? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries unanimous. Anybody against? No, the motion carries unanimously. And we'll do some of the early action items before we get to 7:30. Action item 7.1, resolution 26-57 for the audited voucher summary.
Motion. Second.
Any comments or questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. Resolution, action item 2, resolution 26-58. Let's do that later. That's going to be a discussion. 7.3, resolution 26-59, approving an event permit application from Louise Newsom for the NIAC Craft Walk event in October. Can I get this on the table?
Second.
Any comments or questions on this?
No.
It was a wonderful event last year. Looking forward to it this year. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. 7.4, resolution 26-60, to approve a service agreement with Berry Burners for the maintenance of the village-owned heating and cooling equipment. Can I get it on the table?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries unanimously. Resolution 26-61, approving a refund to Kira Levesque due to overpayment. Can I get it on the table?
Second.
The refund is for $125. Any comments or questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. Resolution 26, or action item 7.6, resolution 62. Application from Hope Wade for a dog fashion show on Saturday, May 23rd on North Broadway. Can I get this on the table?
Motion. Second.
She did this last year, a dog fashion show. We should probably start talking about that if we're gonna be having that. That's wonderful. Two wonderful things, two great tastes put together, dogs and fashion. All right, any comments or questions?
I have a question.
Sure.
Does this require DPW to close the
It
street?
closes down one section of North Broadway for a few hours on Saturday. 4:30 to 6:30, probably in the late afternoon.
And the village is paying for it?
No, she would pay for it.
She's
I
paying.
assume she pays for it. Yeah, she pays for it.
Okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. 7.7, resolution 26-63 for a street closure permit for a Head Start for a spring block party on Depew Avenue, Friday, May 29th. Can I get a motion?
Second.
So this is a spring block party on Depew, Friday, May 29th from 8:30 to noon. Any comments or questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. 7.8, Resolution 64, approving an event permit application for Go the Distance for Autism to use Memorial Park as a rest stop for a cycling event on Sunday, May 31st. Can I get a motion?
Motion.
So this is, they want to use Memorial Park for a rest stop they're doing a cycling event, and I guess this is somewhere on the way of the cycling event, so they want to stop here. That's nice. Okay, any comments or questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. It will not be using the park exclusively or any way or anything like that. It's just people will be able to stop and use the park. 7.9, resolution 65. Authorizing the village, an annual donation to the Orangetown Nyack Senior Citizens Club. Can I get a motion?
Motion. Second.
All right, and that is an annual donation that we've made before for $750 to the Orangetown Nyack Senior Citizen Club, which provides valuable recreational, educational, and community building activities that benefit our village seniors. Any comments or questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. We'll skip 7:10, 7:11. We want to talk about that.
Want to do that now? Or?
No, we'll talk, because we're gonna start the public hearing in like a couple of minutes when we do the budget. 7:12, resolution awarding construction of a Safe Routes to School sidewalk project to Palladino Concrete. Can I get if this is resolution 68, can I get it on the table?
Motion.
Second.
All right, so this will take a little discussion because we are awarding a $3.4 million contract. And just give us the basics of this.
We have money to pay for it, the bulk of it. We have a village match of about $1 million. It was bid out. It's been engineered and designed over the last few years. It goes back by 5 years when the village first.
Yeah, we've been talking about this forever. So we're finally gonna get this done?
Yeah. Yes.
And this was we had all these complications with the right of ways that we had to get, and we had to do adverse possession, we had to do acquisition of property to move hedges and things like that, and that's all been done?
Yeah, it's all straightened out.
Okay.
It's actually gonna be really exciting to see the improvements on Main Street sidewalks as you go up past El Cunha Deli. It gets super narrow there.
Okay,
This is for the walk to school, to the middle school.
Yeah.
For kids on the sort of the south side of the village for the most part. Depew Avenue sidewalks will get improved, some of the connecting streets like Summit, Midland. And going into Upper Depew, up towards Central Nyack will get improved as well.
that's great. This is a great project, it's taken a lot of work, this little project, so we'll take a moment just to recognize all the work that's gone into it, as well as the fact that it's a rather large amount of money. Any other comments or questions about it?
A question about the crossing over 9W to get to Upper Depew. Right now, the only crossing area is the intersection of Main and 9W. Any thoughts about doing some type of crosswalk closer to Upper Depew?
So the other crosswalk is over towards the school.
By the school as well. Yeah.
And that's the one that has a crossing guard on it in the mornings.
By the light.
No, I'm not talking about the lot.
You're talking about at the top of Depew. There's no crosswalk plan for there. The state won't allow it. There's no signal or any other way of creating a safe passage. So there's no plans for a crosswalk at the top of Depew Avenue.
Right.
You got either all the children, they walk up Depew, they go on the east side of 9W over to the crossing guard, and there's a crossing signal actually over there.
Can a stop sign be put at by the entrance to Upper Depew from 9W so that it will stop cars and it'll be a little bit safer? Instead of having to go down to further down 9W towards Main Street, but having a stop signs. There is a stop sign on Depew heading east to 9W, correct?
Of course.
There's also a
yeah.
light there.
There's a light.
The light's over where
road.
whatever the road's
Yeah.
called, South
You're
Avenue.
talking like right before it, right? That intersection right before it?
No, at where Depew hits Upper Depew
Yeah.
hits 9W.
Yeah.
Right? I was wondering if we could put stop signs in each direction on 9W, because there is a stop sign already at Upper Depew heading to 9W.
Well, you put
I'm just,
I'm just saying, a stop sign, it's a block away from
light.
from the light.
Yeah.
And there's no crosswalk, so you'd be almost encouraging people to cross where they're not supposed to be crossing, which is the only danger there. And they're not, as Andy said, they would not be likely to put a crosswalk.
Bottom line, it's a state road and they
Yeah.
have their capital plan planned out for the next several years. There was a temporary crosswalk at the top of Depew because of some construction taking place nearby. But as soon as that was over, the state removed it.
So so we're expecting the kids to cross down at down
They're not,
at
this
Main?
project doesn't change any of the crossings at all. It just makes it safer
To
to
get
walk
to
the
that.
sidewalk.
But you were saying there's a crossing south of Depew?
South Boulevard.
Yeah, that's
Where
where
the college.
that's right. I wasn't actually thinking that far. I was thinking about where the light was, where the kids normally cross from the middle school. That's
Right.
the intersection that I was thinking about,
Right, which is where the crossing
which is where the crossing guard is and where they have the light.
On the
Yeah,
intersection of Main and 9W.
No, there's and there's another one.
South Highland, the road
Yeah.
that goes up towards the middle school,
Where
Yeah.
has a crosswalk,
Yeah,
with
where-
pedestrian signal,
yeah.
and a crossing guard.
It's like that.
Yeah, this is the one, that's it.
That's the one. That's
Yeah.
that's got a crosswalk. All right, it's got a
Yeah,
crossing
got the
sign.
crosswalk and the light.
All right, so yeah, so this will at least highlight where we have, if we have other issues, but getting those sidewalks better for these kids walking up to school is a good thing. It's a good federal program. It's good that we joined it with the match that we had to make to do it. It's good that we're getting it's federal money, not state, right? It's federal.
Well, it comes through the state, but it's ultimately federal.
It's ultimately federal
Yeah.
money. All
I
right,
think the only, just for that intersection, I think the only thing that you would be able to add would be like the flashing crossing signs, like they have at where the hospital is on that end. That might be only because there's already, like, they're gonna do a study and look at it, but it might not be what you come back to.
okay. Any other comments or questions?
No.
All right, so regarding the resolution to approve the contract, all in favor? Aye, motion carries unanimously. We'll skip the other resolutions until we finish the public hearing. So let's move to the public hearing. Kyle, come and talk to us about the budget. For those of you who want to look up anything regarding the budget, you can go to nyack.link/budget27 and you can see a copy of the budget.
Gotta do a motion.
Oh, we gotta open the public hearing. I'll open the public hearing in a second. All right, so let's open it now. Motion to open the public hearing.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right.
Okay, we're in public hearing now, and now I will say go to nyack.link/budget27 if you want to see, there's a PDF of the budget, there's an Excel spreadsheet of the budget, there's a couple of memos and graphs and things like that that you can look at to follow along. But I'll let Kyle take it away.
All right, I'll summarize some key points and changes in the budget from this year compared to last year. In terms of taxes, we stayed within the tax cap, increasing for next year. Outside of tax, non-tax related revenues, everything this year we're on pace to either come in at the actual budgeted rate last year or exceed it. So it gave us the opportunity to increase some projections conservatively for next year. And then in terms of the expenses side, our most changes were very typical, our expected employee increases or health insurance increases. Our biggest changes to expenses was adding 2 new positions. We added the bus driver and the social worker. We increased our snow removal lineup a good bit this year after the crazy snowstorms. And we increased our celebration line a good bit this year for the 4th of July 250 celebration this year. Everything else is pretty typical as what we expected.
A couple of general points that I made in a memo, I called it a primer that I put into the folder that explains our approach to the budgeting process. Just 2 things I would highlight, three things I would highlight. One of them is that we do take a relatively conservative approach. We do, if you look at the budget for the actual, we take a conservative approach when it comes to revenues, really. Because if you look at the revenues that we set as our budget for last year that we expected, and then you look at the actuals, we're going to be above the budgeted revenue by the end of the year. Certain things overperformed, including building department revenue and the cannabis tax revenue, and a few other items that came in higher than we expected them to be. which is good because it means that we're not cutting it too close when we set the budget and we set the expense levels. You don't want to be coming up in November, December and find that you're way over your expenses and your revenues didn't come in. The second thing I want to point out is that we do have a structural budget challenge insofar as we would like very much to stay within the tax cap of 2.9%, to not increase the property taxes beyond that. In fact, we'd like to increase them less than that, but we need to, if we increase them 2.9, we still end up having a lot of holes that we have to fill. And we've been very lucky because with the hotel tax and the cannabis tax, those generate about how much every year?
The hotel tax is about 240. And cannabis tax is about gonna come around to 450 this year.
450 this year. Is that in terms of actual? So it's about 700,000 or so
Correct.
in revenues that we get, which is about 700,000 between those two things is 10% of our revenues, is coming from two non-property tax revenues that did not exist 5 years ago. So if we had not put in the hotel tax, if we had not opted into cannabis, we'd have a $700,000 hole in the budget right now, which $700,000 is about the amount, going to point number 3, that we have as discretionary spending. Our discretionary spending is very limited. Most of our spending, if you go look at the memo that I put in there, most of our spending about, it's about our whole spending is 7.3 million, and about 6.7 million of that is basically stuff we can't touch. It's benefits, it's employee salaries, it's facilities, it's energy, it's things that insurance. It's things that we really we can't negotiate. We have union contracts that we abide by. So it's not stuff we can move. And then if you were to look and say, well, the stuff, what do we have that the 700,000, so that's discretionary. It includes things that are technically discretionary, but they're things that we really wouldn't want to take out, like Camp Nyack and Nyack Center and stuff like that. So we have a very limited work. And the fact is that if we had not put in those two taxes, it's literally about the same amount of money. Our non-discretionary or our discretionary income right now, or discretionary revenues right now are about the same as the new non-property tax revenues that we get. So it's a very tight, and next year we're gonna have to come up with more because next year the budget goes up by about 5% every year and property taxes go up by 2.9. They're our biggest revenue driver is property tax. So it's a challenge every year, and I want to thank you, Kyle, for fielding. Every year there's requests for additional equipment and additional people to work and all those things, and it's a very tight thing, and you handled that. We had conversations about it as we kind of managed some of those things as they went through. You did a great job with it, so thank you.
Thank you.
All right, with all that said, does anybody have any questions anybody have questions from the public? It's a public hearing. Any questions about the budget from the public? Comments or questions?
I actually have a question.
Sure, come on up. Just so we can hear you, just not to put you on the spot, but so we can.
I'm just thinking about the hotel tax. I was just looking this up. Do we allow short-term rentals like Airbnbs, and would that add to the hotel tax if we opted into something like that?
We have looked at regulating Airbnbs. I think do we allow them, not allow them? We don't allow them. Yeah, you're not allowed to do a short-term rental.
Yeah.
The what?
They're not prohibited.
They're not, wait, he's shaking his head, they're not.
They're not under the code, there's no restriction, there's no inspection.
Okay, you're saying there's no restriction on them, so,
Permits, none of
okay.
that.
So people are allowed to do them. We have looked, because we looked at putting a restriction on it, and we just looked and there weren't that many, so it
Not that
wasn't.
many.
like-
It's not like certain places like Kingston or Woodstock where they're crowding out the
Yeah.
housing market.
Because if we felt that it was a problem, we probably would you're bringing up in terms of tax revenue, that we should tax them the way we tax the
Yeah,
hotel
that
tax,
was my thought.
which we would do, but we'd be more likely to at least restrict to, like in the city, you can't do an Airbnb for less than 30 days. In other places like, that are sort of seasonal, like down at the Jersey Shore, most of the towns down there have a rule in season, you can't rent for less than a week. And in the off season, you can't rent for less than a month. And I could see us doing that. It just hasn't been a priority because there hasn't been that many of them. And And it's sort of it's something to keep your eye on, but it's nothing that's been, the concern we have is less the tax revenue and more the taking, well, number one, taking stuff off the available inventory for rental or purchase for that matter. And then two, too much transient people coming in and out is not good for the community. Like Mr. Lord shaking his head that he's saying, well, if the Claremont if that board would be on it, like nobody's business, they'd be on it, taking care of that little problem. Somebody was Airbnb-ing their condo. Yeah, it's not, most people who live in a condo or an apartment don't like it when the short-term rentals come in because they tend to create problems. So thank you for bringing that up. Yeah, we don't have it. So it's one of those things where we should probably get to it. It's just that we've had so many legislative agenda items that we've had to do public hearings for that it has been something we haven't quite gotten to. Any other questions about the budget? Thank you for the question. Good question. Any questions from the board or comments from the board?
Let's find out if we can get a sales tax on those.
Oh, if we can?
We can.
I want an
I
Airbnb.
think
Yeah, we can.
The state of New York was passing like a statewide. Something around that.
I think we could,
Maybe there's a way to.
Other communities are doing it.
but then we'd have to legalize them. I mean, I would legalize them for a month. I mean, if you want to do an Airbnb for a month, but that's really just a month-to-month rental. It's not really an Airbnb the way that people think of it. They think of it as a weekend stay.
I would just try to get taxes on whatever they're doing now without trying to change it.
All right. Even though we don't legalize, we just stay silent as to the legality, but we do taxes.
They're legal.
Okay. I don't think it's a huge amount of money, but okay. I don't think so. I don't think it would be move the needle. All right. Any other come on, is there anything else have in the budget? This is our last public hearing before there won't be a public hearing in the 2 weeks, there'll just be our meeting.
Budget vote.
We're gonna have a budget vote in 2 weeks, so if you have comments or questions, get them to us before that meeting, because we will have our final deliberations in 2 weeks and then vote on it. But, unless something were to come up, it's probably gonna get voted on in roughly the form that it's in right now. So if you have any concerns about it, you should raise that with us based on what's available on the website as well as on the folder I created at nyack.link/budget27. Anybody else? All right, can I get a motion yes, Minerva.
The social worker,
Yes,
can you talk about that?
yeah, when we did put in the cannabis tax and the hotel tax, these two sort of significant non-property taxes, we did do it with a understanding and representation. When we did the hotel tax, we talked to the hotel owners and they didn't object to it. So we did get it, the home rule legislation passed without any objection from the hotel people by saying that we would take half the money that we generated from the hotel tax and we put it toward tourism generation, which we've done largely through the tourism grant. So the part of it's not really earmarked. It's more, money's fungible, but just mentally, our mental accounting system is that we spend about half roughly of the hotel tax money is what we allocate toward the tourism grants and some other tourism related things we do, like the event guides and things like that. That's where that gets paid from. And the same thing with cannabis. We said that we were going to take a portion of the money from the cannabis tax and apply it toward programs for youth, like recreational programs. And then we'd also do it to treat kind of impacts from drug abuse. The idea being that cannabis tax should go toward sort of the general idea of trying to help people who have been victims of or have had drug addiction problems. And so one of the things that we've added is this social worker person. It's not really a social worker. What it is, it's a partnership with Catholic Charities, which they're going to provide somebody who's going to work a substantial amount of their time is going to be working in Nyack as our point of contact for people who are having challenges relating to social issues on the street, things like that. So if someone's sleeping on the street, if somebody's panhandling, if it could be anything that someone's having a problem that right now it sort of gets picked up by whoever in the village so Andy handles some of it. Joe's been very good. Pascal's done it. All the trustees have picked up some of it. I've done some of it, that you deal with people who have landlord problems or have this. So we want a point person to kind of be that person to do that. So that's what that's what this person will do. They won't be on payroll because we're not, I think, allowed to have somebody on payroll do that.
We decided it would be better to have them actually overseen by someone with expertise in
Yeah.
outreach.
So rather than be, well, they could all, but rather than have somebody working for the village, who none of us really know this field, having them be managed by Catholic Charities makes a lot of sense. So it's the same sort of idea as the safety patrol. And really, what I always try to point out to people is we have the same amount of money going to safety patrol as we do going into the social work. And we haven't hired the social work person yet. They haven't gotten somebody to us yet, but they're working on it.
We need referrals for.
We need referrals.
Spanish speaking outreach worker.
Okay, Spanish speaking outreach worker, and
English and Spanish, obviously.
English and Spanish, yes, bilingual. But the idea is that, you know, the idea that you treat these problems as a law and order problem and not as a public health problem is misguided. It's both. So we're trying to articulate that through balancing the amount of money that we put toward the safety patrol to address kind of the impacts of antisocial behavior. And on the other hand, we're putting somebody in place to try to help people that might otherwise get themselves into trouble. So that's that. We're trying to balance that. And I think it's been a smart way to go about it. Anybody else? Any other questions or comments on the budget or anything in it or anything we talked about? All right, then can I get a motion to close the public hearing?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Public hearing is closed, but if anybody has a question about the budget, you want to bring it up when we get to public comments at the end of the meeting, you can feel free to do that if you are leafing through the digital pages and you have something you want to talk about. All right, let's get to, is one of the resolutions that Steve is here for? Yes, action item 11. So let's go down to action item 11 in your program. Resolution 26-67, authorizing a consulting agreement with Municipal Solar Partners for procurement of rooftop solar arrays for village-owned buildings. Can I get this on the table?
Motion.
Second.
All right, Steve, take it away. Tell us about this.
All right, so as the resolution indicates,
Turn the mic on. I think I turned up.
I think I just moved in.
Okay, you got it closer.
We've gotten some grant money from the Clean Energy Communities Program, about $262,000. We're dedicating that money to 3 rooftop solar projects throughout the village buildings. So this building, DPW, Head Start. And we initially approached this by working with a company that had a state contract to do the work. So they had the expertise, they had a state contract, went through a competitive bidding process. Unfortunately, that contract doesn't match up with all projects. So we needed to look to an alternative and go out and publicly bid it. Andy took a real strong effort at trying to put a bid specification together, but he doesn't have a lot of expertise. He knows a lot about a lot, but doesn't have specific expertise when it comes to solar installations. So we looked for an alternative. We talked to a few other communities that are doing the same type of thing and came across this company on your agenda tonight, Municipal Solar Partners. They're a nonprofit. Their primary mission is to try to build, work with communities and municipalities to construct and put forward solar projects. So we thought with their expertise, they could possibly do the RFP for us. They gave us a proposal. We probably have a copy of it. And I think it's important. They're charging something for it, but they have an expertise that probably will save in the long run. Because a lot of companies, if they don't have a lot of specifics with regard to the project, then they have to build in additional costs for the risks involved. We've gone through a number of those steps already. And with them packaging some of the information that we have in the RFP, it reduces the risk and allows a contractor to bid more aggressively on a project. So there is an extra expense to it. The grant will cover the expense. But I think in the long run, we'll get more production for our grant money. So nothing out of the village's budget. And I think it's a nice way to go and take advantage of some expertise when it comes to this type of project. And there's a lot to know about it, and bringing somebody with that skill set, I think will add value to the project.
All right, that's well said, and I think well explained. Does anybody have any, so this is, okay, so this is about the assisting us with the contract, basically. Because there's something else that you're gonna talk about today too, that I'd like to have you talk about while you're up there, but let's handle this one first.
Yeah, they're essentially doing the engineering, the technical specification.
Have you spoken to them?
Yes.
Are you comfortable with them?
Very much, and they were recommended by a couple of the communities. So that's where I got their name initially, and then I had a meeting with them, they came across with the proposal. And I think it makes a lot of sense.
All right, any questions from the board? Any comments?
No.
No, all right, all in
Thank you,
favor?
Steve.
Oh, thank you, Steve.
I want to reiterate what a wonderful partner Steve is
Oh,
for me and for the village. The
very
amount
lucky.
of knotty problems he's helped solve and sort of guide me has really been appreciated.
Well, it'll be solved when we start seeing our energy bills go down, but at this point,
Or stop coming out.
it's still theoretical.
Thank you, Steve, you really do a wonderful job, we're very grateful.
Appreciate it.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously, but let's keep you up there to talk about action item,
It was actually down in.
10.3. Right, next day, partnership to promote community solar access in the village.
Right.
And do we have, let's see if we have.
I don't have that as a resolution.
It's not a resolution, it's just a,
It's just a discussion item, yeah.
it's a discussion item, but I thought since he's gonna discuss it with us while he's up here, we can talk about it.
Sure.
And we'll let him get out of here. It's 10.3. I don't think there's any paperwork on it. Just, he's gonna tell us about it. So give us the thumbnail sketch of what's going on with the Next Stand partnership and what it is and why we should consider doing it.
Yeah, I'll give you a quick overview, but I think on your meeting on the 7th, the people from Next Step are gonna be here to go over the
On
details.
the 7th?
They'll come.
In May.
May
Yeah.
7th.
The
May
May
7th, okay.
meeting, I'm not sure.
Okay,
it's the
I still gonna be here. So why don't you just give us a preview of what it's about?
Yeah,
basically.
so this is a community solar program. So essentially, there's a field out in Orange County somewhere, or wherever they're building it, and they're going to build solar panels, solar generation. And so members of the community can buy a section or actually sign up to get their energy from a small section of this entire solar array. And by signing up, there's a 10 or 20% discount on your electric bill. And the 20% is for low and moderate income households if they sign up, and 10% is for, other households that sign up. It's very easy to sign up. There's really no strings attached. You're getting a 10% reduction off your electric bill. It fluctuates over time because in the summer, when you get more solar production, you'll see a bigger discount. And then in the winter, you'll see a lower discount, but it nets out to about 10%. If you sign up, I think I actually just got it in the mail today. If you sign up before, I think June 30th, you get a $75 gift card. There's some advantage to the village as well. If low and moderate income households sign up, and we make an outreach to those residents, then the village will get a referral fee or something along those lines that can be used for the marketing to get people involved. And the thing that really excites me about it is, we're hearing a lot about affordability. We're seeing a lot of increases in our bills. As silly as this sounds, I track my utility spending every month.
That doesn't sound silly. I would expect nothing less, quite honestly.
So on a per kilowatt and a per therm basis, the gas prices, at least my last two bills, have gone up 24%, and electric 12%. And so there could be no better timing than to try and ease people's utility bills. And this is a great program to do it.
And this to me seems like a correct me if I'm wrong, but it seems like a no-brainer from a, it's like I said before, money's fungible, so is energy. Like it's not, you're not getting, it doesn't change anything. You don't have to put any special equipment on your house. You don't have to like, it's not like you need to get panels and you have to install things. There's no installation, there's no nothing. It's just literally checking off a box that you want to get your energy from this source, and you'll start getting attributed energy from that source, and it'll be cheaper, and you'll be at least feeling like you're contributing toward the non-warming of the planet.
Yeah, that's an excellent point, and much of the reason why people hesitate, because it's a deal that seems too good to be true. And so people like, I don't
catch?
understand, what's the catch? There really is no catch. There's one catch. The one catch I think is that you get a separate energy bill. So you get a bill from O&R and you get another bill from NextDam.
To write 2 checks or make 2 credit card
Yeah,
payments.
that's really the only downside.
I have a question, and maybe since you seem to be an expert on electric bills and gas bills. So there are 2 parts to the bill. There's the actual energy, and then there's the recharge.
Delivery, right?
Right, so the 10% you're referring to or is the energy production and not the delivery side.
Yes,
Okay, so it's not like somebody's gonna get a 10% overall reduction in their electric bill. They're gonna get a 10% reduction on their production side.
yes, I think that's the case.
Okay. Just to make clear, so.
Yeah,
people could-
it's a really good point. Thank you.
The essential point of this is that to obtain these benefits for our village residents, we would need to sort of have a partnership in the promotion of this opportunity with co-branding, which kind of boils down to putting a village logo on a letter that they mail out to all residents. And we would want to do our best to try to make our residents aware of this opportunity, because it is a way for people to save money. And it would result in also us making progress on our greenhouse gas emissions reduction goal as well.
Is there a benefit to the village? Does it, apart from the village, obviously, I'm sure we'll be able to reduce our, electric, charges by the 10%.
So this is not, this is a program that's only for residents and for small businesses.
We get some payment for.
They're offering.
So we get signs up, we get a finder's fee or something, however you want to describe it.
For each subscriber, there's a fee that gets paid to the village if we partner with.
So we get that, but that's a one-time fee. But what we do get is we get to help people from the village be able to reduce their bills, which is a good thing to do.
Sure,
They estimate about $275 of savings for the typical account that would sign up.
Okay, I just don't want to get into the weeds here, but what is the fee that the village will be getting for a subscriber?
Their proposal is $200 per low or moderate income sign up and $100 per all other signups.
Can we, when we talk about this, can we get that fee to be put into a fund?
We would think about earmarking it for trees,
Consider-
trees.
Consider ways of supporting sustainability efforts, et
Yeah,
cetera.
we can mentally account for it in some way, so it goes to.
It's fungible, yeah, okay, yeah, or maybe as a, something for low-income families to help them if they have issues with regard to their, electric, bills. Something, I know this administratively is difficult, but just the idea that we're getting some type of fee or, fund for, signing, community to sign up. I think it would go a long way to say, hey, you sign up for this and we're gonna have a fund that will help low-income families.
I think we should separate it. I think it should be a dedicated fund. I think that us getting into, we're gonna come to the village if you have problems with your utility bill is a really good idea if you wanna take a part-time job as our utility bill coordinator, because that is something that would be administratively very difficult for us to get into. But I do agree with you that the money should be set aside. We should be very transparent about what it's gonna do. We should keep track of how much we get out of it if we do the program. And I do think we should do something about sustainability with it, because I think that's what the general category is. It shouldn't
it should be allocated towards something that we feel like it would be appropriate for that money. Because you're right, you don't want people thinking like, oh, why is the village trying to make money to do this? Like, I mean, we're not gonna put it toward, raising the board salaries or anything like that. It's gonna go towards something that's related to sustainability. Thank you, Steve, for giving us the update. So we're gonna have a whole presentation about this on May 7th.
They are on, I believe it's May 7th.
Oh, it's coming up at a future meeting.
They'll be available to answer more questions.
And
We need to dig into some more details. We want to know how they define low and moderate income, what the fine print looks like, et cetera.
Can I ask a question? Didn't the board in the past go into the community solar? Is that still active, the community solar, the opt-in or the opt?
We had a program, yes, that was a couple years ago.
That was the community choice aggregation.
Community choice
Yeah,
aggregation.
this is a different type of program. I think Marcy Decker has run community solar campaigns in the past.
Okay,
But this is a project that's coming online, so they're getting subscribers,
The one you're describing, I think, went out, it stopped.
it's up.
We're still, it's not. It's very difficult to do a CCA. A lot of them have been disbanded, but we haven't given up hope yet. So we're still working on trying to bring that back in some way, but this is very different.
And this new program is a opt-in program?
Yes,
Yeah,
you have to sign up for it. 3 minutes, 3 minute sign up.
Yeah, you just go to a website, put your Orange Rockland account in, it tells you if you're eligible or not. Click a box and you're done.
Are apartments
Is
eligible?
there a cost?
If you've got a meter, if you pay an electric bill, you're eligible.
Okay.
Is there a cost to join, to participate?
That's a really good question. There's no cost to sign up, but more importantly, there's no cost to cancel. You cancel at any time for whatever reason, and no obligation.
Yeah, who administers the program in terms of the electric bill? Is it the OR? Will be they'll
Next Amp,
next
the
app.
company does the
So
administration.
you said there will be two bills.
Next Amp and O&R for the delivery and for your gas.
Gas or stuff like that.
Okay, well, we'll hear more about it.
You'll hear it from the experts,
Okay,
Yeah.
just not one
Yeah,
that
you're-
plays one on TV.
No, I think we'll hear from the people who are selling it. You're the independent expert. They're the salespeople, so it's different. So I appreciate you vouching for it.
thank you.
All right, I would like to also, again, as I scatter around our agenda, Camden Moore is here, and then after, is anybody, I think there's some people here for Porch Fest, so I want to get to Porch Fest next. Is there anybody else here for an item that's under our communications or new business, old business, or one of the resolutions? Because I try to get you through it, so you're not waiting around for the whole meeting to go over it. So I got Porch Fest, is that it? Nobody's here for the Coblin issue or the port bump outs or anything like that? No? All right, great. All right, so let's get Camden Moore is coming up. She's going to talk to us about wants a park permit application for a roller skating event. We'll talk about one other thing very briefly with this. So tell us what you're thinking about.
So I have submitted a permit application for, I believe the date is October 3rd with a rain date of October 4th for a pop-up roller skating event. This is kind of an idea that has been floating around in my head for several years. And it is, I went through the Nyack Tourism Grant, won a little bit of money to help fund kind of the promotion of this event. But the event is called The Dip. The website is called skatethedip.com. And the idea is just to bring joy, nostalgia, fun, and experiential programming to the village to inspire kind of a diverse tourism draw, bring people from New York, New Jersey, Hudson Valley to the village. And one of the ideas was really to help us diversify or think through kind of different ways that we can build in experiential programming. And I have found that roller skating has this really beautiful community that is intergenerational, that is multicultural, that is dynamic, that is nostalgic. I haven't ever talked about it with anybody who hasn't told me a roller skating story. So I have some documentation that kind of outlines the event and the idea behind it, but the idea is to kind of utilize Memorial Park's parking area, have a vendor come in that provides the skates as well as the flooring and the barriers, charge a nominal fee for rental. I'm currently looking at sponsorship to help offset the cost, so it can be a pay what you can opportunity to come and skate all day, have food trucks in the park, have music, live DJs, and programming throughout the day.
How long is the event for?
Right now it's planned from 10 a.m. to 8:30 p.m. So it's an all-day event. So there will be kind of sessions in the morning. There will be programming throughout the day that includes lessons for those who haven't skated in years or maybe have never done it before. There are these beautiful people called ice skaters who can come in and dance and kind of perform at moments where there's kind of tot hours, or from 5 to 6, there will be a happy hour dance and then a sunset skate. So the idea is you pay once, you can kind of come and go throughout the day and experience kind of the village as well on that day.
Where will the skating take place?
So
You need a flat surface, obviously.
you need a flat surface. So there's two options that I've explored. And now with the transformation of Memorial Park, I don't entirely know what the full layout was or is going to be. But the original idea was to kind of take over the former parking lot down there. You need about, it'll still be there? Okay, great.
Wait, the parking lot's gonna be there, the one by the gazebo?
Yeah.
Is it gonna be the same size or gonna be
It's
smaller?
gonna change a little bit, but you'll be able
It's
to.
gonna be a different surface though, right? It's gonna be,
No, we're not paving it.
I thought we were putting a mural there or something like
No,
that.
that was.
It's a different thing?
I mean, the parking.
That's changed.
That was an old day.
Parking cutouts.
We'll talk about it.
Anyway, we'll talk about it.
So it's about, it can be various sizes. The size that I've kind of scoped out is 40 foot by 80 feet long. And it would go kind of right by the gazebo next to the roller skating or the skateboard park. There's barriers that go around it. There's a kind of a area where there can be music and there's lighting that would go with it. And then you would pay to enter the rink, and there's kind of a plastic flooring that's there. The other option
It's
is,
plastic flooring, so you put a flooring down?
yeah, you put a flooring down, and if it's on asphalt and like a parking lot, you don't need a subfloor. If we were to do it on grass, you'd need a subfloor for it. The alternative option is the basketball court. The reason why I wouldn't want to do the basketball court is it kind of inhibits the use of that area within the park. So if kids want to play basketball on that day and as well as roller skating, it kind of prevents that. So I'd like to avoid that scenario if possible.
Yeah, the basketball court is smooth enough to skate on without a special floor.
It is, yes. It would be ideal to have a special floor. I think especially for kind of a first time event, where you want to create the ideal conditions for people who've never skated before. You can skate on asphalt, and the basketball court there is a nice surface. The one at Franklin Park is a little smoother, so that would be slightly better, but it does scuff up the floor, so having the protective flooring is a little bit better.
How do you handle liability?
So I have created an LLC, so this would have the event insurance that would go with my permit, as well as the organization the vendor that I'd be working with who does the skate rental and the flooring rental. They also hold liability insurance.
And people slipping and falling and hurting themselves, so.
Yeah, so one of the things that I've kind of asked for from the village is support with having our volunteer EMTs or kind of, health services available to us on that day should something happen.
I'm
Yeah,
just gonna look out.
Yeah.
Make sure this is people fooling around and not actually happening.
Sounds like happy noises.
It does.
Hoping it's happy. Right,
Yeah.
right, I'm like, I can't tell, it sounds like happy, but at the same time, you're never, no.
I think it's okay.
Okay.
Please, I'm sorry,
no
got a
problem.
little alarmed.
the question was about
Liability.
liability. Yeah, so the vendor holds liability insurance as
Sounds like
well.
laughter.
Okay.
All right, any other questions about it? So what are you asking for the village about this? What's the ask besides the use of the park facilities?
So the use of the park facilities, there's also a request for lighting for the evening hours so that there's kind of enough outdoor lighting during that time of year, as well as day of kind of police presence or security presence, as well as kind of park readiness, making sure that the bathrooms are available, that it's kind of prepared in advance for an event that would host and hopefully draw in a number of participants, as well as, you know, additional support in terms of promotion, supporting with, you know, ensuring we have the right promotional materials and such. If there is funding available, that is something that I would always ask for. Based on the budgetary conversations, my guess is that that's not possible, but I'm always here to.
I didn't have the budget conversation. Yeah,
No,
that's
no.
a general observation.
Did you make?
No, that's okay.
Did you apply for a tourism grant?
I did apply for a tour grant. I received a tourism grant, I believe. There's
Now-
like another,
Remember, there's another round of tourism grants in June.
Yes.
So your event was in the fall, so a lot of times we don't give a huge amount in January for an event that's happening in the fall, because we know that we have a second opportunity in June, July,
I
to
think it's
give
June,
the
yeah.
next round. I think
Yeah.
it hits in July. We do it in June. We do the hearings in June.
perfect, yeah, so I was gonna apply again for that. I have, in
But that's
the,
only marketing.
in the copy that I've shared with you all, you don't have the sponsorship asked, but I do have a section in this copy that is kind of seeking sponsorship support from organizations. I've kind of reached out to Montefiore Hospital. There's actually a roller skating rink in Accord, New York, that I'm reaching out to see if maybe there's kind of mutual branding opportunity or kind of reciprocal promotional opportunities there, as well as kind of our local businesses.
Do we receive information? Is it in the packet? It is. Okay, there's so many things.
It is in a packet.
The,
Yeah, I saw it in the.
yeah, it's in there.
agenda.
All right, any other questions or comments? Any questions for Camden? And also, I just want to let you know, Camden has expressed an interest in the planning board. And she's gonna go to the next meeting to kind of get a feel, but you've met with the chair to kind of get a feel for what the role is. And so if that works out, then she'll be on the agenda for the next meeting, if that works out that way, or if she makes a decision early enough.
I just want to see what I'm getting myself into.
You are a wise person to do that. I should have come to more village board meetings on the same theory. So thank you for at least your openness to being serving. It's an important role, and we do have an opening there. Ben, thank you for bringing this creative idea to us. We always love having new stuff. I mean, I did a presentation today for the RBA, and part of it was like talking about event programming that we've collaborated on with, you know, people coming to us with new programs. And there was it was an enormous number of programs that didn't exist a few years ago. That we had, you know, the Arts and Crafts Walk, which we approved for this year, the Flower Market, which is new, the Salsa and Sobro, the Pride Night Market. We have the Yoga Festival, which just started last year, the concerts on Broadway, which just started a couple of years ago.
Mhm.
And the community is very creative and is coming up, and it's really important because it does bring tourism and does bring people from outside the village to come to the village, and that's very good for us.
I don't wanna be a stickler or anything.
Yeah.
It is a bit of a long day though.
Sure.
And I know normally we don't usually have events that happen all day in that sense. Do I have that right? Unless we're like.
Usually
unless
not
the
day to
village
the
is
night,
sponsoring
not
it.
day to the night,
Yeah.
but if it's not used in the park exclusively, it's a little bit easier.
Right, okay. I
And
just
it would
wanted
be
to make
used
sure
in
that
the
was.
parking area exclusively.
Yeah, I just wanna make sure that.
Yeah, we
wasn't-
should keep that in mind as we get
Yeah.
closer to approving it.
Other than that, like, I love this idea, cause I do love roller skating. And my next question was, if you have your own roller skates, obviously, you
I
can,
do.
okay.
I
Yeah,
actually,
people, not you,
No,
but other
people like
people,
have their own.
they show up with
skates.
their own, they just use it.
Yeah.
I don't, because I grew out of mine, but still, just figured for others who do.
yes, you can bring your own, you
Okay.
can bring your own skates. I did have a question. I just wanted to note that I noticed in the agenda, the, Nyack Walk, craft
The
walk
craft walk is one of the days, one of the overlap days.
is one of the overlap days. I personally see it as a great opportunity to kind of have the overlap, but I just wanted to.
They use the upper lawn,
Yeah.
which you wouldn't be using, so it, beyond the fact that it creates a crunch for parking a little bit more than otherwise would be, it's not a problem.
Okay.
And there's the whole marina parking will be open that day, so it's a lot of parking right there.
Great.
You're not gonna be taking over any of that. So yeah, I think we sometimes can't avoid it because there's only so many nice weekends that people want to do events. They don't want to do them in August. Everyone wants to do events in September and October. You gotta avoid the Jewish holidays and it gets too cold after Halloween, and so you end up with a lot of stuff stacked up in that period. September, October, really the biggest, and June are the three biggest event months that we have.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you're gonna, but it's fine. That's fine.
Great.
All right, thank you. And thank you for, again, we'll talk about the other thing. All right, let me bring up the Porch Fest people. Porch Fest B or Sub 1 or whatever, however we want to describe the two Porch Fests. This is Porch Fest,
I'd like to call this the official.
the official Porch Fest. Okay.
The original Porch Fest.
Yeah.
Original.
It's the original
Cap.
it's the originally incorporated Porch Fest organization. So yeah, tell us about what's going on. What's
I'll
the,
introduce you to David Livingston. You'll know, by the way, the film festival was the smoothest, happiest, well-attended. All the filmmakers were ecstatic because the communication with them was constant and there was never a gap.
you do a great job at that. Thank you for bringing that to NIC every
It
year.
was a lot of fun.
Thank you for you and your whole team that does that.
Oh, and I want to add,
Only two people at the podium at one time. I'm sorry.
for the street fair on Sunday, we have Latin megastar Pedro Capó.
Yes, that's right. I forgot to mention that. That's happening on Sunday.
Oh, my gosh. I
He's
mean,
gonna come
So
to
excited.
get its key to the village.
yes,
Yes.
about 15 years ago, I was living above King and I had Pedro on my porch on the balcony there, playing a couple of songs.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's gonna be amazing. I mean, I don't know how much promotion they have done for that, but
I think they've done a lot.
Yeah,
And
it's gonna
where it will land. Yeah.
What time will it be performing?
It's like 3 o'clock.
It's 3 o'clock.
Yeah. It's really cool. Is he supposed to get the key? Is he getting the key
Yeah,
to?
he's getting a key, right?
He's getting a
It's
key.
getting it, the chamber's handling all that. They handle the key.
All right, yeah, good move, good move.
Yeah, they do a clever, they did a guitar last time for.
He used to work at King.
Yes, that's the connection. Yeah,
Yeah.
just did perform casting.
Yeah, and the guys at the Rock Shop.
Yes,
Yes.
yeah.
All right.
Awesome.
Porch Fest.
Porch Fest, tell us about Porch Fest.
So,
Sure, come on.
here's, what we've been working on so far that's in progress. So, we've been working on this event for a better part of a year, or about a half a year, actually. We're originally a group of 3 people. We're a new group of 3 people. We did have to let somebody go, but we're here because we want to move forward with our event as planned, and we'd like to have some aspects in the park and at the gazebo in the town square. So,
Plus, we have an application for Memorial Park on August 22nd, Saturday, for family-friendly events throughout the day, including organizations. I'm going to talk to Lori Seaman from Strawtown, introduce kite flying, some family-friendly music performers, things like that.
That'd be on the day of the Porch Fest.
That would be on the day of the
It would
Porch
be,
Fest.
so you're asking for, and what the village's involvement in this would be that you're gonna you want a park permit for Memorial Park, the lower basin, and you want a permit for Easter Square.
yes.
Okay, and that's to do things in each of those locations, as well as people performing on porches in various parts of the community that you're gonna organize.
That's the
Okay,
concept.
and then the only other thing that might be of village interest would be to ensure that there are facilities, restroom facilities at some of these porches, because you can't necessarily expect the hosts who own the house to let people in to use the bathroom for all the people that might be showing up for the performance. That's the only other thing that we would, which then you'd have to put them on the street. You would need a permission, I think, to put which we would then give, because we'd want you to be doing that. And that's the extent of our formal involvement with this, like how you run it, in terms of marketing, in terms of sponsorships, in terms of the performers, that's up to you, the way it is up to the other gentleman running the music festival, comma, a Porch Fest, or however he's describing his, who used to be aligned with you. So now we're gonna end up with two events, and let's just confront that for a second. There was one organization, and then there was a split in the organizations. And the Wayne Bird, who's been here to talk about Porch Fest before, he then is doing his own event, which he's characterizing more as a musical artist, something.
Music and arts.
And then comma or parentheses of Porch Fest, because I assume you had some sort of ownership of the Porch Fest name. So it's like when the Lone Ranger wasn't able to wear a mask, Clayton Moore or something like that. I'm really dating myself. That's a really old reference. I think it's me and Jack that might know Clayton Moore is the Lone Ranger.
Hi-Ho Silver.
Hi-Ho Silver. So he's gonna be doing, and they're gonna be done on different days. They're gonna have similar themes. We did talk about like, should we have two of these? And we've gotten a recommendation from Mark Mangan, who says that he thinks both of them are viable. They'll have different feels to them, and two music events. If people want to run them, that's fine. I think that's a good thing. So I think what you're doing is good. I'm very happy that you've brought him in to work with you on it. I think it was a good choice. He's got experience running big events, and he's worked in the village before. So that was a good addition to your organization. And is there anything else so yeah, I think what you're doing is great. I love the idea of the Porch Fest. I loved it from the beginning. And the other stuff that's happened in the meantime, the dramatic stuff in the meantime, I don't care about. I care about now that we're gonna have two events. That's fine. Two good events. I would love it if they both worked out wonderfully. Give more options for the people. They can't make one because they're away in August. They can go to the one in September, the second one. So they're not even like competing in like close to proximity time wise. Okay. All right. So what else did you want to tell us about? I just wanted to make sure I got that out of the way to make sure that people understand it's two different events.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, just to the 2 points you brought up, on the event map, we have the locations where we have like a hub sort of. So
Okay.
each one of those, we'd have table, little canopy, stage manager / security coordinator, toilet, water, and trash can. And so that would be a person walking around that part of the neighborhood, just checking on everyone's porch, picking up garbage, making sure there's no shenanigans.
Okay.
They could radio back, and that's where we would have just toilet and whatever other amenities we end up with. We know we're planning on water, toilet, and maybe like chips, something for people to have. And if you saw, we have a transportation plan. We bring people from one to the other to keep things moving around town, so we don't get like a rock port
Something.
that
Okay.
builds and builds and builds throughout the day. We want to keep people moving and spread out. And yeah, I mean, it's sad we had to let Will go, but it's great that we can both do separate things. I think both will be great for the village. I agree with you completely.
Fantastic.
Let's talk a minute about duration of amplified sound in our park, because that's been kind of a pinch point.
Okay.
Typically, this board likes to see 3 hours max, I think, on amplified sound.
Okay.
We have had situations where you permitted something at Hezekiah Easter that went on for longer than that, and the restaurant diners and others felt like they couldn't talk to each other because they were getting overwhelmed. We do have people who live near the Memorial Park who have those concerns. So I guess I want to know what your expectations are for duration of amplified sound in our parks.
Okay, so I mean, we'll obviously, whatever needs to happen to make sure everyone's happy, we're gonna coordinate with everyone we have to as neighbors, the village guys. But the plan as it stands is to do an opening ceremony sort of, so people traveling in Nyack, they know they go to the park, kick off, we'd have maybe like a hour of music, and then we tone it down for most of the day, have sort of like a lunch thing, we'd have small music acts. Like
And it'd be more
kids'
folk
music.
orientated rather than heavy metal or electric.
Yeah,
Really big band music. It'd be more singer-songwriters
James Taylor-ish type stuff.
oriented for families.
yeah, that would be the family epicenter, and we would have sort of like a midday kind of a draw, pull people back to the food trucks. And because again, one of our intentions is to keep people from clustering too much in any part of like a neighborhood. So we would have a midday draw, we'd probably have another half hour to an hour of music, and then go back to the quiet music, and then we'd have a closing ceremony, the point of which is to end all of the porches and have our biggest draw bring everyone back down to the park, and then, we'd have an art auction, trying to, conclude our fundraising for the day, close it out, and then encourage everyone, now go into town, don't go to porches, go into the businesses, there's bars, there's restaurants,
Yeah, I was gonna suggest that there be a formal way to try to integrate some of the businesses that, and you might wanna talk, if you're not already talking to, you're talking to Mark, so I know you're talking to the chamber.
Yeah,
Mangan will connect you to them to make sure that, the businesses align, like they should align their programming with what you're doing, so.
Yeah,
they
we've
could-
spoken to Mary Ann Olive and
Okay.
Rhiann Higgins.
Okay, good.
To coordinate live acts. We're gonna have an after party at Mary Ann's and
Okay,
same thing with
nice.
Maureen's. Probably be out of the park by 8:30, as it's getting dark.
Okay.
Shut things down.
yeah, and as far as the square, the gazebo, at Easter Park.
Easter Square.
Easter
that way.
Square. The plan is to have like small, like chamber music, or poetry, and then as it gets a little bit later, we would add comedy, family, like appropriate for public comedy. But things that aren't as loud, but are
How
still.
many individual acts do you anticipate having?
So we're gonna give time slots based on how many people there are and how many stages there are. If we have a lot of acts, maybe you could have 15-minute slots.
Oh, so you don't know yet how many acts are gonna be, you just know.
We
how
want to
many.
welcome as many people as we can because it's gonna bring more,
Understood, they bring their friends, all that stuff.
so,
Do you have any
Yeah.
porches secured at all?
yeah, we've got, a handful, I think almost 10.
Okay.
And then we have a couple of businesses, we said, we want to keep everything out at the day and then bring it all into the downtown, because, our primary focus is to raise money for a homeless charity. But secondary to that is because Nyack is such a music and art scene, we want to kind of just like amplify that and, bring people from out of town to experience some of the stages. A lot of people know about Olives, but they might not know about the Rose Room at Prohibition. So, after our closing ceremony, we'd have all those after parties and bring people in, and they'd be affiliated, but they would be ultimately run by that.
Right, and if the businesses have something to offer for the evening for Porch Fest attendees, we'll coordinate with them.
Although Olives is our official after party.
This is gonna be, what's the date?
August 22nd,
22nd.
Saturday. Also, we're going to try to have the timing of the acts, so the group can migrate, accordingly, kind of together progressively as the chronological time ticks on in the afternoon. So it's not all spread out all at the same time, to have more of a coordinated attempt at getting more people traveling all together, so as a group.
What time does it start?
In the park, probably about noon, and in Porches, what time?
Yeah, we're planning on starting at like 10 with quiet stuff and kind of getting everyone, into the part of town where that music might be. And then at lunch, we do the like kind of loud
What
music.
time does it start on Porches?
Porches, we would start with quieter music, acoustic guitar kind of stuff, 10, 11, and then 12 would when we'd be unlocking like bands with amplified music. And then we would be ending that with the closing ceremony, at 5 or 6, and that would end around 7, and that would be the end of the evening.
So some of these performances will be in private property porches.
Most of them will be
Most
on,
of them.
except at the park, it's
Yeah.
Porch Fest, so it's music on
So
porches.
Porch Fest is like, it's a national thing, it's,
Yeah, I know that. I'm just thinking about, I don't mind somebody performing on that with my neighbor or whatever, but you might have some curmudgeons. who might object. Is there any way that you're doing outreach to them?
Yeah,
Just to
so
get their
that's-
cooperation
I can
and their
agree with that.
understanding?
Knowing the similar neighborhood, the curmudgeons will definitely complain at 10 a.m., even if it is like the lightest strumming.
To go to Joe's, and now Pascal's point, my suggestion would be that work with the owner of the house or whatever, the porch that you're gonna be doing, and then they know their neighbors, so
Yeah.
get a list there and send them all a note to explain what's going on and to make sure that they have some questions or concerns, they can bring them up to you, not the owner of the house, because you don't want to put it on them, but they can bring it up to you, but let them be the coordinator. They'll do that because they don't want to annoy their neighbors any more than anybody has to do. And so you could,
you could set it up that way to make sure it's sort of decentralized notifications of the people that live in proximity to the houses.
We can write up something, a generic release or something, so they can hand it out to their neighbors.
We plan on canvassing, door to door in areas where we're anticipating having kind of like a main stage.
Okay.
There'll be small porches, like we have one that's small enough, we're probably just gonna put singer-songwriters on that porch, and then some have a big enough yard that could be like the north stage or, then they could accommodate big people, so we'll be checking in with that neighborhood. And we're gonna have, again, people that patrol each area, they're gonna have the decibel meters, they're gonna have flashlight, whistle and radio, and if there's a problem, if something's too loud, if it's getting crazy, or if the neighbor's having a problem, we're gonna be ready to deal with it as it happens.
Yeah, I'm anticipating a very sort of lower key event where it's going to be, except for the music from the porches, which is not going to be enormous, and some will be bigger than others. But the impact will be really minimal as far as noise goes. And if it's a sunny afternoon on a Saturday, I mean, people enjoying something on their front porch can't.
I'm all for it. Don't get me wrong. I'll enjoy it. I'll walk around, but I just don't want the mayor and the trustees' phone blowing up with people.
Oh, I know. Well, listen,
Yeah.
I don't believe every street fair either. but-
We'll forward the messages directly to you guys, right?
Feel free to, and we're planning on having a phone number active that day for people to call if they have any issues. So we have a IVR system set up right now, it's just for calls. But again, Porch Fest, they usually have no central planning. Some of them do, a lot of them are like village run, a lot of them are run like how we're doing it, but the majority of them are just a couple people say, hey, let's do one in town, and then they do stuff on their porches, and there is no central group, checking in with people, making sure that they have a plan for anything. The first one, all they did was make posters and put them up. And that was it. And they had thousands of people just walking around town. So, the only reason we incorporated and started planning it the way we're doing is to make sure that if we do it somewhere like Nyack, which is bound to draw a lot of people, just because it's Porch Fest and Nyack's already cool, most of what we're doing is just thinking of all these kinds of things. So anything you have, throw it at us, because we want to be prepared for everything, because that's the basically the main aspect of running this is thinking of all that stuff. There's plenty of vans that are all gonna wanna play, people are gonna come and support Fest, so keeping the streets clean, keeping people safe, keeping everything moving and not congested, that's our focus more than anything else.
Well, thank you. I appreciate you coming and presenting. I'm sure we'll hear more when we get the resolution and we'll dig into it then, to some of the details.
Guys, one question. I just want to let you know, I've been trying to get my insurance agency to give me a straight answer as to whether I'm covered or not. If someone has a slip and fall on my porch or lawn, and I haven't gotten an answer yet. Otherwise I would offer my porch to you. But I'm trying to find that answer, and I think others might have the same question.
Yeah, we're finding out because it's kind of complicated as far as insuring something like the park. And Easter Square, right, those are it makes sense to insurance because it's one location, but to do something so broad. You see, we have drafts of our contracts and notice, like waiver notice and things like that, but if you find out, let us know.
Yeah, for me as a homeowner, I have to worry about the slip and fall where I get sued. I want to make sure my policy will cover me for that kind of event. Where I don't know everybody and I'm not actually managing it directly, so.
Yeah.
So I think you
Well,
guys.
let's find that out.
Yeah.
Let's find out. We have to talk to insurance, person's talk to insurance, because you should probably have some sort of umbrella policy that you then, and if it's not covered, they should insure you for doing the event there. They should be covered under their umbrella.
Yeah, we have planned, just to post notice, if you're coming on someone else's property, you're assuming all.
Yeah, but you probably want to have insurance as well as.
Yeah, no, absolutely, both,
Okay.
but just to do our due diligence, providing notice
Yeah,
is just a basic thing to remember to do, so.
okay.
Yeah, I don't want to rain on the parade. I'm just saying that the question I'm asking, my guy hasn't been answered yet.
Don't jinx us with rain.
It might depend on the policy too, so it might be different for everybody.
Also, great day for having a yard sale too, actually. I just think-
Yeah, that's a good coordinate.
All right, we gotta move through. We have a big agenda, so I gotta ask.
Can I approach?
Sure.
Thank you. And show, I just saw this on Facebook.
Oh, the West Shore Passenger Rail, yeah.
Yeah, that's not happening tonight.
No, not tonight, no,
Oh.
not tonight. I think we're talking about it.
Agenda.
It's on.
It's on the agenda, yeah, it is, it's on the agenda to do a resolution.
Yes.
We're not, I mean, we're not actually accomplishing anything other than expressing an opinion
Oh,
on
okay, cool.
it. But we will, that is coming up as one of the agenda items that we skipped earlier.
That would be great.
All right, let's go back
Okay,
to,
thank you.
back to here, thank you both, and thank all three of you, who are up here. Let's go back to action item 7.2 and let's try to get through the other action items that we have. 7.2, the sponsorship program for the Shoreline Path Project. Can I get a motion?
Second.
All right, so Andy, take us through this, and I advise you to look at your tab that has the listings here.
So this is something we discussed last meeting. It is simply a sponsorship program so that we can get our shoreline path furniture paid for by other people in exchange for having a commemorative plaque on the bench. I actually sold one a little prematurely because I've been so kind of crazy lately. I thought I had already gotten this voted on, so we have one family who has bought a bench for $4,000.
Okay.
Thank you to them. Looking forward to doing that. But that's what it is. There's furniture, it costs a lot of money, it's a great opportunity for families to remember loved ones. Or for a nonprofit or a business to say, we love Nyack. Whatever the case may be, the rules are pretty clear. The money is needed. This sort of sets a program up so that we can go about offering this opportunity to people who want to give the gift of a bench or a picnic table or a chess table or a tree and be able to have their name on it.
Beautiful. All right, you can see on page 5,
The
6.
trees or something?
Now, the tree plaques would be on little sort of pedestals in the ground next to the tree. Yeah.
We're gonna carve their name into the tree.
These are important questions, guys.
Yeah, no, legit, totally legit.
It's a good question, yeah. And it's good, you have the map so people can choose where they want to have their,
You choose.
you choose, the sooner you get in, the sooner you get your choice.
You go like hotcakes, folks.
Yeah,
I
I was
mean,
gonna
they-
say, there's like limited space available.
There's only so many benches, only so many picnic tables.
I don't know.
The, So in that map on page 7, those, the big round things are the trees.
Right.
Oh.
All right, that's a tree. That's not how big the picnic tables are. You're not gonna have 14 picnic tables. The picnic tables, you can see them marked in black.
Okay.
And then the benches are marked in black. The picnic tables are marked in, they're like the little gray rectangles with
The
the
little
2
black
lines, with the black bars. Yeah, that's the picnic tables. Okay, so good. That's good. It'll help. It'll be, and this doesn't have to be done this can be done over the course of, they're still selling benches in Central Park in New York City. They've been selling benches for 10 years.
Central Park is like that.
I know, they keep adding benches. That's what happens. They keep adding more
I
benches.
may be a little jammed up on the picnic tables, which apparently have to be ordered with the plaque. I'm not sure we're gonna be able to do that, so. But the
Okay.
benches, I can install the bench and then a year later put a plaque
plaque
on
in,
it, same
right,
with the
so-
trees.
So people have to buy we gotta sell the benches. It's like when you say to a waiter, move the salmon, move it tonight, because we gotta sell it.
Right.
We gotta move the benches, or move the picnic tables.
Yeah,
We need picnic tables to be sold like right away.
I wanna mention again that central kind of rotunda area is intended, or at least would make a great place one day to have a kind of a vertical sculpture, sort of a eye-grabbing art piece.
In the center of it.
And that is, it's a blank slate right now. It's a focal point for the park. We could never do anything there, and it's still gonna be a beautiful path. But there is an opportunity to work on that, maybe as a follow-up once this thing is built.
Yeah, what I would tell you is a piece of advice I always gave people when I was in the real estate business. I was like, don't buy all your furniture after you buy the house. Like, get enough furniture that you can move in and then get a feel for
Yeah,
what the
yeah,
rhythms of the
yeah.
house are, because you'll be like, "Oh, I'm gonna fill my whole living room done." You're like, "Oh, I hate the way
Right.
the flow of it is now." So like as I'm looking at that, I'm saying, that's a great place for performance.
Sure.
put a band in right in that center, we've just been talking about these performances, like that little center area is the perfect place for people to, set up with a guitar or
Yeah.
busker or something like that. So you may not want to have like a statue there, but maybe we want a statue. Maybe we don't want buskers setting up in the center of the promenade
We
area.
also don't want
Well,
to
the statue of
overpower
Joe playing in a band.
the aesthetic of the
Yeah,
park.
yeah, you don't want too much, you don't want like
We'll
a
get the best of both.
I think, we'll figure that as we go along. All right, thank you. Any questions or comments about this program?
I have a question.
Yes, please, Minerva.
Are the things that you are allowing them to purchase for donation, or is it going to be like a catalog that they choose from?
Yeah, sort of, yeah.
Okay.
They get to choose, like, do you wanna buy a bench, do you wanna buy a tree, you wanna buy a,
It's
you wanna
not
buy.
things that they are gonna go and buy.
No, this-
No, they just give us money, that's all. They give us money, we do all the active, and we make sure we get they tell us what they want plaque to say, and we make sure the plaque says it.
Just want the things uniform down there.
Right.
Yeah, so no one's people aren't gonna get to choose their own benches and bring them and then tag them, because that would be chaos. It would be brilliant, it would be awesome, but it would be chaos.
Just want to be sure they have a catalog.
Yeah, no, there's gonna be a,
Yeah, there's no catalog. The choices of the bench designs has been made a long time ago. The question is.
it's not a catalog in terms, you just get to choose, it just says bench, table, tree. And you get to pick one and the price is there set for, and then you tell us what you want the plaque to read. And we'll give a little more detail on it. We'll sell it a little bit more. I'm not in sales mode now. I'm just sort of telling you what the general idea will be to buy them.
I'm just saying, if I want that white swamp birch, that's the tree that I want. Don't give me the other.
Right.
I guess the trees have, we do have, the trees do get laid out
Get
as
some
to what they
trees
are.
here.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Minerva. Anybody else? All right,
Just one question,
sure.
what about for the rest of the Memorial Park? Somebody that wants to donate a tree or donate some other apparatus.
I
Do we have a
think
policy for that?
we have a lot of things for people to donate right now. And we do not have a design plan for other benches, picnic tables and trees. For sponsorship.
In the upper park, really the upper park or the, I guess the upper park or the playground. The playground has benches in it that we could theoretically put a plaque on.
Yeah, I haven't created a program for that.
Yeah, I
It's
remember
not
talking about a
focused.
fee schedule a
Right, but
while
if you
ago.
have benches down on the water, why not? I mean, it's still a park.
Down,
Well, the benches down by the water are gonna be.
because they're all in
Yeah.
a pile right now. They're all gone. These new ones are coming in. She might be talking about the marina has benches too.
Okay.
There is
Yeah.
benches in the marina. I think the point is, this is a model for what we might do.
Let's get this
Well,
done,
fee schedule.
and then we could take a look at the 4 benches in the marina and other places. But right now, we gotta sponsor the ones that are.
Yeah, we'd like to give the
It's
people
just to honor you.
Okay.
Cause we have another 4 benches in the marina.
Oh, no, I'm just talking about in the entirety of Nyack. We've got streets, we've got benches. We're gonna run out of space soon.
No, the benches, I mean, the thing really is so that we don't have to pay to buy a bench, that the benches get paid for by the sponsor.
Oh, no, I don't disagree with any of that. I'm just
Supposed
more
to.
saying as a general point that we will eventually run out of space.
Well, the other ones don't go, you can't buy the street. You can't buy the street. The street's an
but-
honorific.
We're gonna start doubling up on street names.
Well, that's as long as everyone wants the same street. There's a lot of streets left. They're just, everyone wants to be on Broadway. All right, can I get any other questions? All right, all in favor of resolution 58? Aye. Motion carries unanimously. All right, the next one we skipped was 710, resolution 66. This is to approve the purchase of a low-speed electric 6-passenger vehicle for use of a shuttle within the village. Can I get a motion?
Motion.
There was a memo from me about this. This is something I first pitched about 2 or 3 years
We
ago.
were so excited.
I was so excited back then. I still am excited.
You sound so excited.
This is at hour 45. I'm very excited to talk about the Hobby Shuttle, which will be a 6-person gem car shuttle. If you look up gemcar.com and see what it looks like. You could also look in the packet. There's some pictures, I think, in the memo that show what it looks like. And we're getting a $50,000 from the county to buy the shuttle, which is about what it costs. And that's a tricked out shuttle with the biggest battery, and it's got doors, and it's got air conditioning, and it's got heat and everything else. And it fits 6 people, 1 driver, 5 people passengers. And the idea is that it's going to do lower loops multiple times an hour from the marina up to around where the library is, and then down or up Broadway, then up Main, then up Main, Franklin, left on Franklin, back from Ardipee, back to Broadway, and then around again back down to the marina. So the idea is that you park in the marina and you can get a ride up the hill to go to dinner, to go shopping, to do whatever. And then once an hour at least, it depends on, we have to see how the timing works out. It's going to do the bigger loop, which will go all the way up to the hotels and all the way up to Walnut Terrace to connect those areas to the downtown. So we actually have an internal village-wide transportation system, which we do not currently have. The county was very interested in this, and other villages have been very interested in this because, we've got county transportation, but there's no inter-village transportation anywhere in the county. And the idea is that we definitely need it because of the hill. Really, it's the hill. People don't want to park in the marina and go to shop on Broadway because they don't want to walk up the hill. So this makes it easier for them. We're going to pay what's in the budget right now it's in the budget for the driver. The shuttle, as I said, is paid for by the county funds. We're also going to need to have an app design, but I think that's not going to be a huge amount of cost just to put transponder in the vehicle so people can log on to, it might just be a website, they can log on and see where the shuttle is so that they know how long it's going to be before they have to wait for get pickup. All right.
We're not putting ads on our.
Yes, we are. We're going to totally have ads on it.
Alcohol ads?
No, not alcohol.
Okay,
Leave the
so we
alcohol
can't
ads.
do No, Deep Eddy's vodka over here.
No,
as the pictures are just.
I think that's more, they're different ads. You can see there's different ads for different things. I think the liquor ad is probably in a resort area that's
Okay.
more liquor oriented.
You sure? I don't know.
No,
what
we want to have liquor
said.
ads, but I assume we might get the hotel, might take out an ad,
Okay.
we might get people to take out ads, because it does help pay for the shuttle. I mean, we might get enough advertising to pay for a large part of the cost of them operating it. Because we have to find out from New Rochelle has advertising on theirs.
Yeah.
So,
Wait, Jack, you had your, yeah.
oh, Jack, you have a question?
I was curious about, the driver was one thing you answered then. So it's in the budget for the driver, hours of operation.
Do we have we set hours of operation, Andy? Did you figure that out? Yeah, we don't know yet. We're gonna see we don't have the exact hours. The idea was to try to focus on
You have it.
originally on weekends. I have, my memo
Oh,
is
this is
just a
yours.
projection. This is a projection. It's a pitch. I would love for us to be able to run it as much as possible. I think it's I think it's gonna be really nice. Everybody I talk to about it, every time I do a presentation on the initiatives that we've worked on in the village, everybody's like nodding their head, and then I get to the Hoppy shuttle and everyone wants to ask questions about it. For some reason it tickles people's fancy. I think it'll be a nice little trick for people to come here and, use the marina. Eventually, when there's a restaurant down by the water, it will get people, and we even more transient boating, it will get people they'll be hooking up their boats and then taking the shuttle up the hill to go eat and shop and everything else. So the hope is to do it. So I'd love to do as much as possible. And if we do get advertising, it helps us to run it more often than we would otherwise run it.
Where are we parking it?
It's after, at night.
Yeah.
We could park it up at DPW,
Oh, okay.
probably. That'd be probably, because they have a charger up there?
No.
All right, then we park it right here where we have a charger.
We'll figure it out.
Or we park it in one of the public chargers that we have, we'll charge it overnight in one of our public chargers.
Let's drive it down on Hart Place.
We drive down Hart Place, I'll charge you you have no idea how much if you let me drive this thing, if I get licensed, if I have the ability to maybe drive, I'm gonna get a hat and I'm gonna drive around, and I'll definitely park in my driveway.
Yeah, one thing I'd like to add, this is great, I'm all for this. I would like to add, perhaps, since it's gonna be driving around the village with perhaps people that are coming to visit, they could hop on. That the driver know the area and maybe as a tour guide.
Sure.
Pointing out,
Be great.
hey, we're passing now the Hopper House, we're passing the you know, whatever, and kind of a tour.
Sure.
Tour guide.
You want somebody fun,
Is there a sound system inside, a microphone?
not a microphone, but it's not that big it's like if someone's in your car.
Yeah.
Right,
It's not that
yeah.
big.
Yeah, okay.
You don't need a microphone. The person's like, they're gonna be sitting as far away from me as Natalie is, from me right now. We can turn the other way, so Natalie, you can still hear me, right? Hey, Natalie, this is the Hopper House right here.
I think I want the driver to, drive.
No, the drivers, come on, the drivers.
Just throwing that out there. We have a lot of walkers.
Just so everybody
and
knows,
bikers,
it is
like-
legal, the vehicle is legal up to 30 miles an hour. There is nowhere in the village that has a license, has a mile per hour that's higher than 30 miles per hour. So it's allowed to drive on all the village streets all the way up to Auburn, even on Route 59.
Ooh.
Even on Route 59, it's gonna go up well, Andy and I are debating the concern about it riding on Route 59 as opposed to going up via Depew. But I think it's a legit vehicle. All right, anybody else questions and? Don't go.
Yeah.
That's what, I think it's better up Route 59, I think it's safer up Route
It's funny
59.
because I said don't go up 59. I was like, oh.
Oh, so that would be good.
Good point, yeah.
It's electric, the operating costs will be very low. This is the shuttle they use in a lot of other places. This is actually the only one I've seen out in the wild because I've been looking now, they have them in Point Pleasant, they have them in New Rochelle, they have them I was in Santa Monica, that's where I first saw one when I was on vacation there. That's where I got the idea, so.
I was just
it's
about to
good.
say, not you bringing over California ID.
Little California, come on, we can use a little sunshine.
You sure could.
All right, anything else?
Is there a fee?
No, it's free. It's all free. Hop on, hop off. Hoppy, hop on, hop off.
Oh my God, my mom would love this.
That's the culture. I got slogans already ready to go.
Can
Is it-
kids just hop on it too,
I would,
without their parents?
yeah, I haven't even thought about that. Yeah, I mean,
13-year-old is gonna.
I would say
13-year-old.
Probably many years.
the child will be fine. I think the baby that was here a little while ago, we probably would want parental supervision. The 13-year-olds, I mean,
They're fun.
we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Sure, 13-year-old.
So how about baby on a lap? And if
I think that we'll have to see what the rule, there might be a rule about that with we're not gonna have,
A car seat.
a car seat. It's not gonna, negative car seat. What's that?
Maybe we'll have a car.
If they bring a car seat, they can strap it in. I don't even know if it has latches though.
Does it have seatbelts?
It has seatbelts.
I think we can find that out after we've,
Yeah.
vote through the
All
resolution.
right, let's get the resolution. We'll figure out the details later before Dennis loses his mind.
Oh.
I just want to add something, well, sorry. There was a previous, kids were all over it.
Yeah, I was one of those
I'm telling
kids.
you, when school was out, they were
That
on
trolley,
it.
that trolley
It's
was
a trolley,
great.
yeah.
I missed that trolley.
Wrong with that at all.
Yeah.
I just thought, but I'm saying is that our.
We'd be prepared.
Trolley
Kids
was
are
like
gonna go
25
for it.
Yeah, it was important to hop on the trolley.
Oh, you actually had to pay for it. That's
They're
interesting.
growing up.
We'll charge kids and let adults run for free.
That's pretty valid. I would accept a child being on.
Yeah, I think that.
Charge them 25.
I mean, if the kid's off put it this way, if the kid's old enough to be walking around by himself, he's old enough or she's old enough to go on the.
Yeah, you know the value of a
You know,
dollar.
I don't see 5-year-olds walking down Broadway in Maine, but like I saw a bunch of 15-year-olds in Torriellos today, and they could certainly ride it. All right, any other comments or questions? See, people love talking about the shuttle.
This is the most cheerful I've heard you. all
I am
day.
so happy that we're finally voting on this.
He's-
I'm so happy. Ooh, that's a new slogan. That's a new Nyack so Nyack, happy so happy. All right, all in favor? Motion carries unanimously. All right, we're gonna get this done. All right, we did 7-Eleven. 13, 26-69, requesting, this is the feasibility study for West Shore passenger rail service. Can I get a motion?
Motion.
Second.
All right, Andy, tell us what we're doing here.
So there is an organization which is advocating for more public transit and specifically for putting passenger trains on the rail line that's currently owned by CSX and runs up through Orangetown, through Clarkstown, up past Haverstraw and so on. And they feel that it's timely for municipalities to show support for the vision that they have, which they believe can be advanced by getting the state to pay for a feasibility study to see how it might work, whether you can fit passenger rail on there, where you would have the commuters park, et cetera, et cetera. The purpose of this resolution is to show support because that kind of transit option would be good for Nyack.
And a lot of other places, yeah.
Where does it go to?
The CSX rail line runs, essentially, it's the one in Blauvelt you drive over when you go over.
Where's
east.
it end? Where's it end? It's in Jersey.
It goes all the way up to like Albany and beyond Albany, all the way down to Jersey. And if you counted it in Rockland, you'd have roughly about like 8 to 10 stops from Haverstraw all the way down to Japan.
Okay, but where does the terminus is,
It's not, where everything else goes to Secaucus, right? Secaucus is
No,
wrong
it
to
goes
translate.
around- it goes around there.
Does it go to Secaucus?
Yeah,
It goes
it's just the-
nearby.
It's just the commercial line, so it doesn't go into Secaucus Junction, but if they did reform it into a rail service, it would more than likely go down there.
okay,
And then you would, it's just another alternative to get into the city.
It goes right near Secaucus, just had to walk about, just like a half mile along the turnpike from, the exit, just.
okay, but I mean, the New Jersey Transit,
Yes.
they run down to Secaucus. right?
Yes.
Yes,
So,
transit runs to Secaucus,
When it's
that's.
in New York, it's technically Metro North, but it's New Jersey Transit that owns that line and they run the train. It's just
But I-
technically based on borders. It's all the same system.
I just have questions about, I'm really for this.
Yeah.
so don't-
Yeah, of course, yeah, we all
I just kind of how they would coexist, the two lines.
That's a big question.
The two Metro North lines currently,
Well, the Metro North,
I mean,
New
the-
Jersey Transit.
right? And then,
the
and then the
CSX.
I mean, we won't know, honestly, but what would happen is CSX, what they do over across the river on the Hudson line is the CSX, all the commercial stuff goes late at night when the trains are not running. So they would do the same thing here. They would have to add probably like 3 to 4 more tracks to that area so that the trains can go back and forth. And then obviously more platforms and everything, but I don't know how it would affect the current line because
Okay.
We don't know.
I mean, this is a no-brainer, basically,
Yeah.
support, the
No.
review.
not to be a Debbie Downer. Cause I don't know why I feel like that's what I'm doing today, but anywho, while I do agree that this is something that we should definitely have, I also know that the state is already doing this. They already put money in the budget for it, I believe, so I guess, and in the same vein of us never really taking up these type of resolutions. Because even though we do agree that it's all important, we have talked about not taking up these.
Well, no, we don't do symbolic resolutions, but this is
Yeah.
not symbolic so much as we're actually encouraging, we're sending a letter to our,
But it's already
Sorry.
happening.
yeah, but it hasn't happened.
No, but I mean, like, there's money in the budget for it this year. That's more,
Has the
like,
budget been passed?
they announced it
Has
already.
the budget been passed?
It will be passed soon.
Well, it'll be-
It will
It will get passed after this resolution is signed, I'll tell you that right now.
It sure will. I'm just saying that. I mean.
This comes close to the line. It comes close to the line of being symbolic, and I appreciate that. I thought about that too, but I said, you know what? It's a public policy issue that actually affects us in the village
Yeah,
very much.
No, we need.
And
it.
also, it is something that's gonna get voted on by our representatives, so we wanna express it in this way. It's not like a federal thing or something like that, or international.
Like trillions of dollars, but anyway.
But it's local.
Expensive.
All right, any other comments, questions, or curmudgeonly observations?
I'll take it. I was making fun of you on Tuesday. It's okay.
Yeah, it's, yeah, you did make fun of me. All right, anything else? Hearing no other questions, comments, can I get a vote? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carries unanimously. Have I missed any of the resolutions? Because I know we skipped around. I think I got everything.
Yeah, that's so.
Got them all. All right, so you checked them off. All right, so now we go to departmental reports. We don't, it's 9 o'clock, so I want to see if something really vital. There's nothing really vital in the police department, other than we did have a police action recently. They informed us about it. It is something that, there is an issue of the Mirage Restaurant Bar Lounge. When it closes, it does tend to, a lot of people are there at closing, so they all kind of empty out into the street. And it does create a noise issue, and it creates other possibilities for problems. So we are gonna ask, I talked to the owner who reached out to me to say, could you get the police to have a presence when we empty out? Because she doesn't want there to be any issues. The issue that, I will say this, just make clear because this is the information we got. The incident that happened with the gunshot,
the person who fired the gun had not been in the bar, had not been in the restaurant, came from somewhere else. But the person who was shot at was somebody who was in the bar in the restaurant. But it's, it's obviously this police action. We gotta work with the police on that. And if you have any questions, we'll take it outside the confines of the meeting. Village administrator report.
Paving next week,
Ah,
Jefferson, Marion, and First.
Oh, thank God.
Jefferson and Marion.
Marion.
And-
Oh, that,
and-
that is what.
And Bridge, and a little chunk of Sickles by the hospital is really fun.
Okay. Well, Jefferson and Marion have gone through lots of,
Yeah.
It follows on the water.
they'll have my email and mobile number by now, so I'll hear about
And
it.
the sidewalk project, so it's perfect.
I'm
timing.
just tired of my tires getting chewed up every time. I go.
Andy, can we get a
So-
copy of the map?
Can you-
This to trustee.
Will that be posted?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Wait, is this the only copy you have?
Well, it's good. Why don't you guys send us a digital?
You
Send
have
us a
three?
digital so we have it. So we can post it online when they post it.
Yeah, Anne Marie will post this. and-
So this is that, we're in the phase of our road is in bad shape and we need to get it fixed, and that's the complaint. Then the complaint will be, why is it taking so long to fix? And then it will be,
People are
it's
going
not,
too
people are
fast.
going too fast on it, so we need to speed
Not
it up.
bumpy enough.
And not bumping, we need to put more bias to it. So this is that glorious moment where in phase one of the complaints about the roads. We'll soon move through phase two and phase three. Anything else that you want to talk about that we haven't gotten to yet already? Yeah, sure, if you got something, go ahead.
So much stuff.
Oh, God.
I know, there's a lot of stuff going on. Why don't you give us a summary of the stuff that's going on? Because you can write us a memo that summarizes this as well. We can look at it.
Well, following this paving project in about a month, we're gonna finish the sidewalk project. There's a couple of spots over on Third and Franklin,
Okay.
some 88 corners and so on.
On
That'll
Third
get
and
done.
Broadway?
No,
Good lord.
this is in the vicinity of Jefferson and Marion. That sidewalk project wasn't done completely yet because weather intervened in the fall. We've got a big project going on High Avenue right now.
Sure do, sorry, good one.
Are you getting us out?
Oh my God, like I couldn't get my driveway for like 45 minutes.
Phase one.
Big one.
Well, that's phase two. Phase two, complaining about the work is phase two. Complaining about it not being done is phase one. Work phase two, that it's been done and now there's something they don't like about it is phase three. Good.
Other capital project, well, the Safe Street's gonna start soon.
Mhm.
This roof is gonna get replaced, starting, I think, in about, is it?
The 21st?
It's about, 21st, I believe. There will be closures of Lydecker Street during that construction process. The, well, it's sort of reportable right now. We finished our salt shed up. The DPW is beautiful. You should drive in there and check it out.
Okay.
And the last step is to pave the area around it, so that's happening in a week or so.
All right, if you think of anything else, you can jump in. Meanwhile, I want to let the village clerk have the opportunity. No?
No.
She decided not to pick today as the day that she's gonna issue her first report. All right, let's talk about old business 9.1, the draft law about the adaptive reuse. To just sum up the legislation, the idea is to make a zoning change that would allow for existing educational and religious uses to, if they ever ceased their use that allows them to cease their existing current use of the property, that they could convert the property to housing and be treated as if they were in a multifamily zone. That's the basic gist, not technical, but the general idea. In that original legislation, the idea was that there would be two different types of conversion, one of which would be adaptive reuse to convert the existing building to housing, which would have a certain level of review and certain requirements. And then there was a second one, which would involve if there was actually a tearing down the original structure and then a rebuilding of the new structure, which would have a separate set of requirements. Joe Carlin made a very good suggestion that this is a very complicated legislation when it comes to that second piece about a tear down, but it's much simpler if the person is going to be using adaptive reuse of the existing building facilities to turn them into housing, since there's no major change in the footprint of the building. And maybe we just separate out the two different legislations, because the first one is important to get done because that's the fire
the fire department is, or not the actual fire department, but a nonprofit associated with the fire department that owns the old nunnery on Third Avenue wants to start work on converting it to housing for firefighters, and they can't do it until we pass the law. And so we'd like to get the law passed for the adaptive reuse, which is what they're doing, to allow them to do it, so that they can get started. And then we can always at some point later take up the issue of what happens if someone wants to tear down the existing use. Everybody understand? So the idea is that we're gonna put on the legislation,
The first.
Dennis, with the first one, we're gonna put that on for a public hearing?
I get it, you want, so you want to,
Just lop off the second piece
delete the tear down.
for now, yeah.
Yeah, simple enough.
Yeah, it's just.
The only other question I think you guys hadn't resolved was how to do with the exemption, affordable housing, what was it?
But I think they
No,
accepted
we
the
did.
numbers we put in.
Yeah,
Number.
No, it was like a
We-
fee or something, the lieu, the
Well, put
payment.
in, whatever's in the legislation now, we can always, if
no,
it's not big enough, we can change it, right? It's not a major change.
Tear down is easy to take out, you
Yeah.
have to renumber, reformat, it'll
and I
done
thought
tomorrow.
what you were questioning had to do with what we were talking about the tear downs.
This is after I left.
Yes, this was after you.
Yeah, and it wasn't as hard a conversation with the adaptive reuse, so maybe
Right,
it's
yeah,
now, it
yeah.
might be moot.
Yeah, I think it's, yeah,
Can't remember.
that's my recollection, yeah.
Without the buyout of the.
The buy.
Right,
It
yeah,
was the buy.
eliminating the buyout for a tear down, but since we're separating that out,
We can handle that
we
later.
can handle that later,
You're
yeah.
gonna, okay,
Yeah.
gotcha, all right, so I'm just gonna remove
But
the
I have
tear
that-
down and reconstruction.
That, yes,
Coming
yeah,
up,
no, that was how I explained it.
Got it.
Secra,
That was fine.
Yeah.
GML, public
Okay.
hearing.
right, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna update the local law tomorrow and I'll
See the
send it to Bob.
legislation, and then
Yeah.
we'll be able to.
Yeah, no, I just wanted to make sure Dennis,
So we're not ready for
Right.
public hearing yet. We're not ready for public hearing?
no, for the first part we are, but not for the tear down.
That's tear down, we're not
No,
gonna see the-
Right, yeah, that's a
We're
definitely,
waiting
yeah,
for a close to final.
So we shouldn't set a public hearing yet.
We could cautiously optimistic, because we need the planner's documents.
that's sounding like a.
It needs to go to the county, they have a 30-day clock.
All right, so we're not
And
gonna
it's so you can't vote on it until after you've
All right,
heard.
let's try to move this.
So we're gonna get it to the county as soon as we can. We've heard the village board. They want us to edit it accordingly.
Yep.
Put the package together, send it to the county. As soon as we have their comments back, we'll send to a public hearing and give you a chance to vote.
Well, we can set the public hearing anticipating that we're gonna get the comments back by
Yes.
some
Yeah, you
meeting,
could,
stay forward.
yeah.
But we can set it the next meeting. We don't set
Right,
it.
let's get the package together and get it out.
Okay, all right. So that's that. Everybody good with that plan?
Yeah, I'm fine.
All right, Porch Fest, we talked about restaurant bump out policy. We have a letter from Tony Scotto, who really does believe that it's all the restaurants love it. Some other people not as big fans, but it is one of the things that, I'd like to, we lose some parking spaces, but they're always full. So like the people that visit those restaurants do like it. So I'd like to continue it. We can have comments about it, and we can also have comments about changing the cost of it, because we think that it was 125, that might be a little too low.
Yeah, I was gonna say, well, let's push it up a bit, 175.
You know,
I make it too.
yeah, I don't know if I'm.
Do I hear 220? 220?
I will, every year I ask because I'm always just curious if it actually still is something that people really like, or if it's more of a pandemic hanger on.
That's why it's on the agenda.
Yeah,
Because we need to either hit the go button or hit the,
or hit the stop
Or the
button,
delete
yeah.
because it's right about now, people have to make.
Given that costs are going up, I don't know how I feel about raising the cost of it at the moment, but that's more, I always just try to take a pulse on it myself. That's my opinion. Because I can never tell if people actually really want it, or if it's just like the few curmudgeons on Facebook that are just like, why can't I park in front of my favorite restaurant? So that's
Yeah,
my only ask.
Just on that note, I was one of the people that were kind of hesitant about doing
Yeah.
this. And I spoke to a lot of the restaurant owners who currently or had bump outs. And I've come to the realization that it is beneficial for them. I think we should raise the fees, which they are extremely for it. So, this way, there's a suitable cost for it. At 175 is not, another $50 a month doesn't make or break a restaurant. and the other thing is, my only hesitation is when you have two bump outs across from each other. And
we have that in one space,
One
that's the
space.
training space and the breakfast spot.
right,
And we did last year, we did a better job, we narrowed, we gave them a little less space, so we had a little more space
Right.
between them.
right,
So it was better last year, so let's make sure we do that again.
yeah, I don't object to it.
Yeah, it's tough to tell one that can't have it, and I know Burger Club does a ton of business out there.
They do.
Listen, when it comes to raising the cost, I'm not gonna, I think we should do it, I think we should allow the bump outs. I would raise it up to 150 instead of 175, but I'm not gonna, not a hill I'm gonna die on.
I'm okay with 150.
Even though Minerva wants to raise it to like $500, I don't know why you hate the bump out so much.
They can afford it.
The restaurants, I don't know if they're quite as lucrative as you're anticipating.
No, they had
having a tough
a
time.
very tough winter, very tough winter.
2 weeks of two different.
Their main deterrent is the insurance they need to buy.
Okay, I agree with you.
That's the cost of the really,
How much?
is their insurance that they have to buy.
How much was it?
I'm saying their cost that gives them pain is the insurance they need to buy for their own premises. They have that.
Yeah.
That's kind of the deciding factor, not what the fee is.
Yeah, but I agree with Joe, let's split the difference.
Why don't we do a 25 a year for the next, 25 this year, 25 next year, we'll just set it in stone right now, it'd be 150 next year, 150 this year, 175 next year.
No.
So they can anticipate the cost when they do their budgeting. All right,
Can I get a resolution on that, please?
you want a resolution right now?
Yeah,
All right,
just a verbal.
Okay, resolution to approve the existing bump out policy with an increase of the monthly cost per bump out area to one, is it per space or is it per?
Per space.
Per space goes up from 125 to 150 for 2026.
Come on.
And then per month, and then up to 175 per month for 2027. And anything else with add to that? No, with that said, can I get the motion on that?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carries unanimously, so the bump out policy is now approved. All right, all right. Do we have the packet, do we have the stuff in the packet about July 2 to 5, or do you have it for everybody?
I did not put it in because it's still kind of a work in progress. I thought Carla might want to report out and I can do a verbal.
Yeah,
Well,
I
you can
actually
talk about it
passed
too.
it out at the budget meeting.
Yeah, you gave it.
But in general, things are moving forward. We've got full 2 days of activities planned. And all of the major events have been booked. The bands, the classic car show, the various performers, different types. The only thing that we need to do, and also the fire, everything is on track, okay? And we commenced raising money for it, and we're actually pretty good. I mean, I'm pleasantly not surprised, but I'm pleased by the reception of the local merchants, restaurants. Everybody is chipping in. I mean, it's of course what the village want. I mean, it's great. Only two things are still pending. Joe, you said you would take care of
Some
the
real estate brokers.
what's it? No.
Oh, okay, what's that?
The time capsule. We have to have a
Well, let's talk about that offline in terms of what we do. Because
Okay.
My feeling is we should do it a little differently just because I think we're gonna have a time crunch on doing anything like written.
Okay.
But let's talk about it.
Okay, but anyway, the bottom line is that we have the vendors, a lot of the food trucks are getting on board, and it's gonna be really a great event. I mean, seriously, I'm gonna look forward to July 4th so I could just rest in bed.
You're not gonna go to the parade or in Harristown?
I'll go to the parade
Masonic parade?
and then the Masonic.
And not have to work it, that'd be nice.
Not have to
Yeah,
work it,
That's
yeah.
nice.
No, I'm gonna just stay here.
But next meeting, it'll be a the full schedule and the whole, and we also have the artwork for it. We're calling it, NIAC Celebrates USA 250.
Okay.
Okay, and we're working on the brochures, the flyers, and things are progressing. So come the beginning of March, beginning of April, May, then we'll social media push, and that'll be out for a while. 2 months and then
Awesome. Nice job, Joe. Thank you for doing it. Thank you for working on this. Any comments or questions about that? We'll get the full schedule and then we can talk more about it next meeting.
Yeah.
As we ready for the big launch in May. Let's talk about new business, Western Pest Control Service Contract. Andy.
This is a proposal for, I think, about $15,000 in rat control services from the sort of top of the line pest control company, which would place 20 to 25 devices around the downtown, Broadway, Main Street, Bridge Street, Depew Avenue, going up towards the garden, and track the rodent activity, provide data on that, weekly visits to the bait stations, reports to us on how it's going, adjustment of the strategy based on activity levels, and also for an additional fee, take over our existing pest control contract, which is not as good, and save us a little bit of money on that one. Overall, it would result in I'd say a tripling of the amount of money that we spend on rat control, and an expansion of the territory covered greatly. The theory of the case is that the village needs more rat control. The rats present a public health hazard and a visual sort of disgust factor, which is bad, and that this company knows how to reduce that substantially.
Apparently,
And can prove at some level the effectiveness of the strategy. So we're not just basically doing it. They have little smart boxes that track activity levels of coming and going through the bait stations.
And you want a resolution to sign the contract? You just want our general approval to, you haven't, do you have?
I didn't put a resolution on because I wanted to make sure that the village board, we did talk about it in budget, and the trustees approved this item in the budget. So I would just bring you a resolution, or we can verbal it. Right now, it's not written up, it's not prepared with the exact.
What's the total cost?
I'd have to go back.
We want to just authorize Andy to sign a contract that he deems reasonable for the rat control. So we don't have to wait 2 weeks.
Okay.
All right, then just a resolution, whatever our new last
Do
number
we
is.
still have to account for it in the budget, even though?
It's in the budget.
Oh, yeah,
It's in
okay,
the budget now.
okay,
Yeah, you budgeted
okay.
more.
Resolution, this would be 71, I think, 71, to authorize Andy Stewart, supervisor, to sign Western Pest Inc. rat control service contract that meets his that he believes is reasonable, not to exceed $25,000.
Okay,
That about right?
it'll be a lot less than that. but-
Okay, then not to exceed $25,000. Can I get a motion for that?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. Andy, go get rid of the rat. You're all,
I
you know, our rat
will
cells.
say, since our building inspector is here, the fundamental sort of progress that he's made with his team is to ensure that more of our buildings in the downtown have adequate containers, so we're not putting trash bags out, not containered. That they have a carting contract, which is sufficient to their needs, and they have pest control contracts where warranted, and those
He's
three
been going-
items are the.
He's been going
fundamental-
landlord by landlord and making sure that they are
Those are
doing
the
their
fundamental
job.
building blocks of depriving rats of food and shelter. And that's really, really important, the work that you've been doing with the code enforcement folks and the landlords who've been participating and cooperating in that. We appreciate their support. It hasn't been easy because in some cases, it's very hard for them to find locations for proper trash containers inside their building, so we have some of them on the sidewalk. But there's definitely been a reduction in improper trash put outs. I've really noticed a difference. The folks have more containers, or they're being more compliant with the pickup schedule that they have from Carlo Menudo or wherever their carter might be. And so there's been an educational process that I think has really helped.
Good. Well, the rats, we're taking away their food, taking away places for them to gather. Really trying to make it uncomfortable for them.
And giving them tasty treats to eat.
Tasty treats to eat that. Well, yeah, they're not very good for them. Yes, not very good. Well, the rats don't vote, so the rats, we do whatever we want to the rats.
I was hoping actually
don't have to
That
accent them.
presentation.
I don't want to put Manny on the spot after giving him many compliments, but having a little update on the status of the building repairs at Nyack Plaza would be nice.
Sure.
Yes.
Maybe if you can take a minute. Yeah, the one that had a big fire in it, because that was one of the catalysts for focusing more on rat.
That created a little
Was
bit
sort
of
of
a
the-
problem.
what
yeah.
happened with that, because vacant buildings become rat places.
Yeah, that has been a very complicated project. At the beginning, it seemed like it was gonna be easy, a 1, 2, 3 deal and get in and out.
Hold it a little bit closer.
It's on.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It became very complicated, because of the architectural, personnel involved, the contractors involved and the complexity of the building itself. It's an existing building and 100% of the building turned out to be, part of the scope of the work. We were at the beginning thinking we were just gonna do those sections that was severely damaged. But when the first contractor came through to do the abatement for the asbestos and everything else, they decided to take out the entire building.
Oh.
And that took it to another level. So that complicated.
So
things.
it's a gut renovation now.
Totally. Well, all we got left is the exterior walls.
Okay.
The roof is gone, everything is gone, everything is gone. So that took it to a different level as far as code compliance is required for the state. So that took a lot of back and forth with the architect trying to get it properly, drafted on the.
So they have to rebuild the whole thing.
Pretty much.
So it's gonna take, we're looking at least another year, I would
It's
think.
possible that we may have to go to the state. That's one of the things we have on the table to try to get a variance on certain things so that we don't have to comply with that because of the cost. And because of the amount of work that it will take to make it happen.
The other question I have is this fire was started because of a vent malfunction in one of the bathrooms, correct? And
Was there ever a fire report from the?
It's difficult to get something out of the sheriff. They never give you a straight answer.
So there was never a published.
We still don't have a final report on what caused the fire?
They
It
probably
was
have,
10
but
months ago.
they're not too likely to release things like that until they 100% completed. With their investigation, so we haven't got something official to say, yeah, this is what happened.
The reason I bring it up is that obviously if all the other buildings have the same flaw, we wanna get that fixed now.
That's another thing that's on the table. I met with the fire department, I met with management. We think that yes, this is the same issue in all the other buildings. But of course, we're talking about a ton of money, ton of work, but it needs to be done. So we're talking about that as well.
Yeah, we don't, it's not money doesn't go into it, it's gotta get fixed. You can't have another, if God forbid there was another fire from the same source, that would be appalling, so we gotta get whatever that is fixed. And it may not be that it's just that vent in that particular place, it might be every vent in the building, which is what would be expensive, but it still has to be done. Yeah.
Right now, they do have a permit for the roof, that they're working on putting the roof back to, not cause more damage to the building itself, so they're working on that right now.
Thank you, Manny.
You're welcome.
All right, was there a question? Was there a question?
I was scratching the back of my head.
Oh.
Everyone jumped like I was.
All right, Runcible Spoon, 10.4, Runcible Spoon parking for.
I just wanted to let the board know that I approved them to use a parking space this summer like they did last summer for bicycle racks.
Okay,
I think it's good use of a parking space. Bicycles need to park too.
Yes.
I was thinking about applying a fee to that, but now I'm thinking they're bicycles and they ride on the road and they need to park somewhere.
so they're only using one space for 20 bikes, so it's.
Yeah, I
It
was gonna
seems
say.
like a
we
good
charge
use of a
them
parking
fee
space,
Too, yeah.
but it crossed my mind that they're sort of occupying a space for their business purpose and so I was sort of thinking back and forth on that. And I think you've approved their sidewalk dining, because I see the tables out there. So.
Yeah, we're working on that now. As a matter of fact, spoke with the fire inspector on it today. We're looking at the plan that they submitted. We are a little bit concerned with the bicycle on the sidewalk.
Right, that's why they put them off into the
Yeah,
parking
so we
space.
got a couple of business on that end of Broadway that we are concerned with that. So we're trying to look for alternative for them to park, maybe different type of racks, or maybe alternating on the orientation of the parking, just so they're not blocking the sidewalk so much.
Yeah, so currently the racks are positioned so the bicycles are not on the sidewalk at all.
And that, yeah, for that one, yeah, that one
Yeah.
is fine, yeah, that one is good. There's a couple of other businesses that we're trying to do. The same.
Oh, like across the street where
The
they do
new
bike shop.
back, the new back shop.
Yeah, I haven't really seen anybody, yeah. you know, here I-
Sometimes
Yeah, that bike shop soon, I need my bike to be fixed.
it does get congested over there, so it has happened that walking on the sidewalk in front of the new bike shop, it's congested because people have the bikes and
Yeah, so we're working with them on that, trying to come up with alternative, how they definitely need the parking with the racks, they need it for sure. Just how to set it up to where, they can park and people can free the.
There's no parking on that,
There's no parking there.
Think about that a little bit, there's a problem. Okay, so that was just a heads up, really. If
Okay.
you guys are okay with me not charging a fee for it, then we'll just.
I think that, we're right after we had the conversation about the
Yeah.
bump outs, you say, well, is it the same thing? That's really not the same thing because it's. They're not using it to serve. They're using it it's being used for the purpose that would otherwise be used for. It's for parking of bicycles.
Right.
And I don't think of it as being something that is Runstable's not using it. It's bicyclers using it, and we don't have really a way to charge them. So,
Okay.
Anybody can park there with their bicycle. They can park there.
would we charge? Do we people park? Do we charge people? What do we do if someone parks their bicycle in a parking spot? They block a parking spot.
They can buy a parking spot if they're.
Oh, but if they don't buy it, how do we? We can't ticket them. There's no license plate.
Just take their bike.
It's
Just take them.
like it's heavy. He can.
All right. Well, I think that we'll let it.
It hasn't happened.
I just don't see it as being a revenue generator the way that having 4 extra tables for your restaurants are a revenue generator. That it would be something that the Runcible Spoon would be able to handle. You sign $4 coffees. It's not that easy. Anybody have a disagreement with that? They want to push for fund for paying for it? No. Okay. All right. We did get recognized by the Arbor Day Foundation for our recognition as a Tree City.
Yeah,
Tree
pretty
City
exciting,
USA.
The art shaping committee has done extraordinary work. Planting hundreds and hundreds of trees. There's gonna be a planting day on Saturday, April 18th, 9 o'clock. The volunteers are welcome to come and meet up at the base of Sickles on North Franklin and get assigned to dig holes and put in trees, and it's pretty exciting to see that happening. The DPW cooperates really well with that, it's very supportive. We've got extra support that day for tree watering and for helping deliver trees to the holes where they go in. An extra special project with this year is on 9W, right by the firehouse between Main Street and Catherine Street. There's really kind of a place there where there's a tree planting space, but for the need to move the fence back a little bit. So we're working on that to create more opportunity for putting shade trees on that sidewalk there, because as we all know, with climate change, we're gonna get more and more heat waves. Shade is really, really important. So we're working hard to try to create as much as we can.
Okay. Thank you. And Tree City USA, we got recognitions. That's pretty.
Yeah, I actually want to mention also while we're talking about it, Joe and I are both gonna go to a award ceremony from the Rockland County Municipal Planning Federation. I forget the date right now, but it's in recognition of the village's plan for climate change adaptation. It was the last plan. We had presentations here by Marcy Denker. Village adopted it. It's a plan, not just the first plan, the climate action plan was strategies for reducing our greenhouse gas emissions across a bunch of spaces. This plan is in recognition of the inevitability of a certain amount of climate change and looking at the question of heat waves, health effects from forest fire and that kind of thing. Extreme precipitation events like rainfall, ice storms, and snowstorms, and so on. And that's what this plan is about. The Federation is recognizing our good works on that. Everybody's welcome to come.
Yeah.
And I'll send that information around.
Just FYI, he mentioned that, what's the date? It's the Tuesday, April 30th, Thursday, April 30th. We do not have a meeting that night.
Where is
So it's Thursday night.
It's gonna be
at
at
the Plaza.
Brown Plaza and Sufford, right off the exit.
So here's what I would say is, just FYI, we got 2 free tickets for this, or I guess 2 paid, whatever it was. Marcy and Steve could not go.
Oh.
Otherwise, they would be going and accepting the award because it would make much more sense for them to accept the award. So we said we would go and anybody wants to go is welcome. We'll just buy tickets for y'all. And we can all sit together. That's fine. We're not trying to.
April 30th.
April 30th. There's no meeting, so we
I
can
hate trees, so I'm okay.
anti-tree, pro-rat, anti-tree. That's something on that side of the room.
You might want to mention on April 24th, the Rockland County Housing Forum.
Yes, housing forum on the 24th is the day over at the firefighter, the training facility over in Pomona. It's a full day housing forum the county puts on. They do it every year. They do a nice job with it. I'll be attending. Are you attending?
I'm attending.
Are you attending?
I was thinking about it.
Okay. If anybody else wants to go, it's free. You just have
Yeah,
to
it's free.
You have to
register.
register.
No.
Yeah, I registered for it.
Friday the 24th.
Yeah, I registered for it.
All right. All right. And Ms. Pratt is not, Dr. Pratt's not here. Talking about Collins Pharmacy, so we'll catch up with her later. There's something, communication, I didn't see it, MVP Healthcare.
I'll pull with it.
It's a park permit application. For your discussion, they're asking for the authorization to do a fitness class.
How long is it gonna take and how much space is it
It's
gonna take?
about an hour and it's every Thursday for a period of months.
How months?
So it's a little bit of a different ask than we usually get. It's for caregivers and
It's
babies
not gonna be a
or
lot of people.
toddlers. Yeah, it's not gonna be a big group. It's not high impact, but they're looking to offer this program for free in the community. And obviously they also sell, I think it's a health insurance company that's has some kind of program to promote health, basically.
So it's semi-sales thing.
I don't know that for a fact,
Well,
but definitely it's
I think they have
brand, it's definitely brand awareness. I
Don't they
mean,
have a clinic around Rockland somewhere in Big
I'm
Beach?
not sure.
People do exercise classes in the park all the
All the
time.
time,
I mean,
yeah.
so it's not, now there are no rats involved with this exercise. As well,
There are
because Pascal,
babies.
Pascal's vote might depend on whether there are
Well,
precious
technically,
rats.
Given that the rats are down there, they can get involved to make
That's true.
things too.
It's technically not, it's not closing off the park
Yes,
to the rats.
representation.
Do they need a bump out?
Need a bump out?
They'll need a-
All right, I think let's get a
That's fine,
resolution.
yeah.
Get us the resolution, we'll look at it next week, but they'll definitely get a resolution. All right, we're now done with communications. Item 12, anybody here for additional public comment on any issue of any kind? Yes, please come up. Have you been waiting for the public comment this whole time?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, we opened at the beginning. You weren't here at the beginning. Oh, you weren't here. I'm sorry. Okay. Please come up and share your comment. Don't put the clock on. We'll just take it.
Hey, good night.
Hi.
My name is Jill Cummings. I am the owner of Mirage.
Oh,
Oh.
I didn't recognize you. Your hair is a little
Is it-
different.
yeah.
Okay.
Can you use the microphone?
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You hear me?
Yes.
Sorry, I'm Jill Cummings. I'm the owner of Mirage Lounge, and I just wanted to start out by coming down here to introduce myself formally to you guys, because in light of the seriousness of the incident that occurred outside of my business, I just wanted to make it known that, it was after hours, we had already closed, and it was basically beyond the scope of our operations. And it is a deeply concerning matter that I don't take very lightly. I mean, I know I'm new to the town of Nyack, but I am a retired police detective from the city of New York. I used to work for NYPD for about 18 and a half years. So I do understand both the importance of public safety and the impact that this incident and other incidents like this have in the community and the neighborhood. This is not just about my business, but it's also about the safety and the trust within the entire community. And now that I'm part of the community, I'm just here to let you guys know that I want to make it clear that I am committed to being part of the solution instead of a bigger problem. I have been working alongside with the detectives from for the incident, by providing video and any little tidbits that I could help them. And, I'm here today to basically come to you guys and let you guys know that, we are willing to seek means to increase, better safety measures such as lighting, maybe, added security, and also improving communication between law enforcement and the general community within Nyack. I've already taken some of these actions. I've already spoken to my landlord about maybe putting more lighting in the parking lot where it occurred, and also on the side of the building through the parking lot. And I know that we all share a responsibility to protect and uplift the community that we all reside in and work in. And I don't only stand here as a business owner, but I'm also, like I said, a former detective in the city of New York, so I do understand how these things affect everyone, and I am dedicated to public safety, and I would like to remain committed and let you guys know that we didn't have anything to do with what happened. It did seem like that, I guess, from the media or
We were
whatever.
here when I talked about it, I talked about it a few minutes ago. Did you
Yeah,
hear what I
right.
talked about?
I raised
Did I
my.
make,
Yeah.
oh, I didn't see you, I'm sorry. Did you see her?
No, I didn't.
Oh, I didn't see you. I was looking down, I think. I'm so sorry. I would totally called you up because I was referencing the conversation we had the other day on the
Yeah.
phone. I think that, listen, thank you for opening a business in Nyack. We wish you well. I was at your restaurant. I think I reviewed your restaurant. I put it in
Yes,
the
yeah.
newsletter. We had a really lovely time and these kinds of things do happen. It did not involve somebody at your business that did this. It was somebody who was already outside. And I think that you've referenced the fact that I think I got it right, that we've talked about the idea that we would like to have police presence when it closes because there's a lot of people milling about. And it's just a recipe for people making noise and stuff like that. Having a cop car there will mute that down a little bit. And I thought that your openness to that and your background that from your police background, I think helps you understand how that would work. And I think that's a good idea. And I think that it's not, things happen, outside Fresh Market. It's not Fresh Market's fault. It's not your fault. So I appreciate you coming in and talk to us about it.
Thank you.
And but we'll talk to the police about trying to raise the visibility at closing time on weekends.
No, and I do want to point, I definitely appreciate you coming down. I had heard from others who were present that evening, who had, they said they had a great time and they had.
It was a safe, it was.
Yeah, it was safe. It was
great.
Yeah, everyone who I know that was there ended up leaving like literally right before this happened. I do just want to remind people though that this has happened in Nyack before, which is why we've always had police presence downtown, especially when there was Bruxelles and Zubar and Bourbon and way worse things happening downtown. So I do agree that yes, since it has been some time since something like this has happened, it is worth having OPD near you, around you guys at closing time, because that was always a deterrent back in the day when the cops were always at. So,
I mean, we try, like sometimes, in the months of, we opened in, November.
Mhm.
In the months of December, January, and part of February, I had this conversation with him last night, a couple of days ago, but
Yeah.
they were, always present. I don't know if they were like, they understand that I run a really tight shift inside, but I really can't help what happens outside. So
Yeah.
they, in the last maybe like 4 to 6 weeks, they haven't been stopping by as often as they used to. And I'm starting to realize that because they're not stopping by, there's starting to be a lot of issues outside. And I'll be honest, even though I know that certain things affect the liquor license, I've actually, and I told them this, I've called the police on, I guess myself, I've called them on the crowd that's been outside on numerous occasions because it is it's a nuisance and it's a hindrance to, sometimes I can't even leave the building because it's just so many people outside. So, like I said, we are trying to help as much as we can, but I even cleared the sidewalk. I bought metal gates now so that also to help with the police, so that everyone that's coming in has to walk into the camera before they get into the building, and then they're on camera again. And then, it's like a little helpful, but there's not a lot that we can do after we get them out at the end of the night.
I will also put on the record for the board that we have gotten email complaints about noise from several neighbors. We did look into it. We have sent code officers there. The police have responded. I talked to the police about it. We talked to the code enforcement officers. When they have gone to observe, they have not observed there to be excessive noise. And I don't know if it's just a difference of perception or maybe there's some nights a lot of noise. I don't know, but I just want to say that we've looked into it because people have brought it to us and we've looked into it and we just haven't, we've had code officers work late to do the walk by and they didn't hear anything excessive, and the police have not issued citations, although they've been called several times to go to visit the space as well. So I'm letting you know about that because we talked about that as well. We had a conversation when I was at your place
Yeah.
to talk about that.
All right, well, thank you. I appreciate you coming down. I'm sorry that I missed your hand waving. I don't know how I did that. Nobody caught it. And you were right there, and I saw you there, and I was trying to figure out if there was some issue that you were talking about, but I didn't recognize you from when we met. All right, thank you for coming down. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Anybody else for public comment? All right, I would like to do an executive session for a few minutes. It'll be a few minutes, but it's important. I don't know, well, remember, we didn't have a meeting last week, so we're not gonna take any action other than to adjourn after the end of the public, of the executive session. So you can leave, the full understanding that we will not do any business afterwards, but we've got to clear out the building or clear out the room. Thank you all for coming very much. We appreciate it. It was a pleasure to see you again.
Hamilton,
What?
you're gonna make
Okay, I get a motion to go into public, go into executive session.
motion, second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. I was finishing the spiel. I can't do it until I finish my spiel.
Oh, I thought we did this, I thought we motioned first and then.
No, we do the spiel to say to everybody, we're gonna have a motion public hearing.